Hey, hey.
Hey, good morning. Good morning? No, good afternoon.
It's not evening or morning.
Good afternoon.
Good day.
Oh, that works. That works.
Good
What
day.
up, man? What
Not,
up, Wooly?
not much, you know. Um, are you coffeeed? Are you?
Oh, fuck no, dude. I got up at fucking noon with my alarm. I went, I'll give it 5 more minutes, and then went to set my alarm again, and then immediately fell the fuck back asleep, and then woke up at 1 because you dinged my phone and were like, "Hey, you good?" And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "No, I'm not good. I'm fucking dumb."
Okay. Well, we will have to find our energy as we go on the road, like Mario Kart pickups. So it's fine.
I found an apple.
Please chew away, but do your thing. You picked a real ASMR fruit to bite into there.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. Whoops.
All right. Well, in any case, what's up? How's it going? What's new?
Uh, well, ironically enough, despite the fact that the live viewers can't see me, my air conditioning did get fixed. And the reason that they can't see it is because I didn't tell you far enough in advance, and you had the whole stream setup changed and couldn't change it on a dime, which is why you still got the Elmo head up there, probably.
With a slight modification, but don't worry
Oh
about it.
shit! What did you do?
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I'm a little worried about it.
You
Oh,
shouldn't.
that's good. I like that. That's good.
Okay.
Um, but only thing of note is that when the AC people came over, did I did I mention? Oh, I didn't. So when I called the place and be like, "Hey, that dumbass motherfucker took their mask off," she's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Really? Which one? Was it this guy?" I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yes." Why did she's like, "Oh, that's the second complaint about that exact thing." And I'm like, "Oh, fucking sick.
Hmm.
That's sick." So they sent over two different guys, right? Because I was like, "Don't send that guy back." And we put up like a little, like a child fence up
Mm-hmm.
on the staircase so that the cat doesn't go up.
Right.
And then what happens? The guy's like, "Oh, hey, I need to check your circuit breaker." And he steps over it to come down into the basement. And we both have to be like, "Are you coming down? Go upstairs." What the fuck? I swear to God, dude. It's like everyone's fucking brain has turned off with this corona shit.
I mean, that's a little bit less of an infraction, but the polite thing to do would be to call and ask, like, "Hey, do you have pants on?" You know.
Oh, I suppose so. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about the death germs.
Yeah, no, man. When the like city, when the big boot workers come into your house, that whether it's setting up your Videotron or your Bell or your this or your that or whatever, it's like, yeah, you common courtesy. You give it a, like, hey, is anything going on in here or whatever. Um, Although I suppose the understanding is usually that it's like, hey, from X time to X time, there will be people walking around this house and doing the thing. But yeah, yeah. That's one of those jobs where, as we've discussed in the past, I feel they kind of they just walk into so many houses and like just can't be bothered with the little pleasantries, as it were. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Except the little pleasantries can result in death now,
well,
which is extra fun.
in theory, yeah, you gotta be careful about that.
Well,
Um.
any of you people are going to people's houses due to work. Fucking be careful.
Mhm. 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 Yeah, not too much. Not too much on my end. I mean, a lot of like off mic work, I should say. Like a lot of stuff going on that is just were, working on projects and things personally. But I mean, and yeah, just keeping up with the flow of the protests and the video footage and everything going on, and just
It's crazy.
I mean, the real short of it is, it's kind of incredible how when you use brutality to stop people who are saying please stop being brutal, people kind of don't like that. And it was kind of nuts seeing the amount of people in Philly and in Montreal, even, like, thousands upon thousands of people kind of coming out because, as that meme showed, you can't necessarily use police brutality as a band-aid to slap on police brutality as a whole, in a way. Pretty crazy. Fire with fire. Who knew? Why isn't more violence working?
New York, I saw fucking quit doing their curfew shit last night.
They did.
Because 11 days of protests and just beating the shit out of people and running them over with cars. Oh, wow. That's actually making it way worse.
Pretty nuts so. But yeah, kind of following along that, I guess a bit. I don't know. Is there I guess, like, would you like to start with your week?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Quiet, cat. You be quiet. Well, aside from taking care of this dumbass, shut up, Elmo. Unfortunately, Paige's back is out, which, man, she just keeps falling apart, huh? Which means I've been doing all the house's cooking, which is new for Pat.
What did you do prior to there being house cooking?
Be really appreciative.
But what about before that?
We have DoorDash this week on sponsor.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there's a solution for that.
There you go. But, like, even I guess I meant before, even before, like, it's my point is you were on your own at some point and had to stay alive. Did you nary at any point put a pot on a stove?
I did once. It didn't go very well.
Okay.
Mistakes were made.
So were you kept alive exclusively by delivery food for the entire period of you being
an adult
on your own?
More or less.
Fascinating. Okay.
So Paige has been teaching me how to do this shit. Like, she'll be making the dinner. She'll be like, you do this, you do this, you do this. And, what with her basically laid up in bed with a busted back, I've been having to do the rest of it. And you know what? I probably should have done this earlier. Learn to do this shit earlier. Because I'm all right at it. Paige just seemed to like the stuff that I've been cooking. I made a steak. I made like a curry. Probably gonna do fish today. But
it's not impossible. It's not insurmountable.
No. So, I love my mother. I love my mother a lot. However, I look back and I go, I wonder how I learned that cooking is so difficult. And I'm like, Mom is not a particularly good cook, unfortunately.
Oh.
She's a very sweet lady.
That's not... Ooh.
But not a particularly good cook.
That's not a very mom trait.
When I mentioned that I was starting to cook to Mom, she's like, "Oh wow." I'm like, "Oh, you make anything for Dad lately?" She's like, "No, he makes his own breakfast every day." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I wonder. And I remember thinking back as a baby child asking my mother how to do the cooking, and she's like, "Oh, cool, I'll teach you," which led to a sequence of events that I can only look back in hindsight as hilarious and very boomer-ish, actually. In which, when you move out, they're like, "How do you not know how to do these things?" And they're like, "Okay, let's walk through how I was taught." I'm using big air quotes here.
Yep.
How to do these things. Okay, first you do this. What does that mean? Like, I think my favorite is put the stove on medium high. What is medium high? What is that on the dial? The dial just has numbers. Is that on a scale of 1 to 10? Is that like a 6? Is that an 8? Like question 1, literally question 1 becomes like, and then maybe by question 2 or 3 of stupid questions. Oh, don't you worry about it. I'll just do it.
Okay. Well, to answer your question, then yeah, and usually, with 1 being low and 10 being high, the medium high would be 7.
Oh, sure. I'm using that as an example.
So, well, the thing about cooking is that it's not, it isn't hard, right? It's hard to do extremely well, but it's not hard to do it like decently. And the main reason why is because, I mean, besides the fact that you're kind of like following instructions and it's kind of like a little bit of just chemistry involved in some cases, you can learn from repetition very quickly. So, one of the hardest parts, I'd say, for example, of anything is seasoning, right? Knowing how much of any given spice or seasoning to add to something, and you have to just feel it out. And you can always go too far, but you can never have too little, because you can just touch until you get there, But that's one of those things that you need to repeat the activity more like multiple times, and then the first time you fuck up in one way, and then you steer, you error correct, and then the next time you look out for that, and then maybe something else happens, and then it might get burnt because of the timing. But for the most part, like, you taste as you go, and you just kind of like eventually land it, and then you're like, okay, that's a good place to be at, and from that point forward, you can pretty much do that thing the same way each time, and you'll net the same results.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I've pretty much learned that as well recently. The other thing, and this is a great way to get your kids to never try and learn how to do cooking, is that food poisoning is generally pretty rare. Would you say?
Yeah. Okay.
Not when you go to grandma's house.
Yeah, that's
my entire family would get some power level of food poisoning every single time we went to eat at my grandmother's.
Is this the grandma that taught your mom to cook?
Yes.
Well then.
And my mother is much better cook than grandma, because grandma is the type of woman who would, oh man, there's a lot of green on this steak. Well, we just scrape that off.
Yeah, okay. So okay. All right.
This meat's a little old. Maybe if we put half a bottle of celery salt on it.
Okay, well, in the grand...
Or onion salt, rather.
In the grand... Yeah, my grandma liked onion salt, too. Onion powder, rather. She used it a lot. But in the grand scheme of things, even if your mom is... You know what? I'll have to, like, perhaps hold my judgment back on your mom a little bit, because, if we're talking about her being a better cook than her mother was, and she lands on 0, then I suppose that's fine. If no one's getting sick... That's an improvement.
So the lesson that was learned, right, was that if you cook it wrong, you can make everyone horribly sick. Right? And this person's been cooking for 50 years, and they make us sick every day.
Okay.
So it becomes this mash of... Apparently, it's so difficult because no one will explain me the basics. And if I do it wrong, I'll make everyone sick or kill them.
Yeah, no. So that's not like if the ingredients are safe, then that will not happen. It is simply that it'll taste bad, with a few exceptions. I don't think you're going to be making fugu.
Boy, I hate coriander.
Anytime soon.
Boy, I fucking hate coriander so much. We keep getting all these fucking recipes in. It's like, put the soap in it. Like, no thanks, man.
Yeah, it's that's fine. You gotta watch out for the E. coli on the chicken. You want to be careful about that.
Yeah, I don't know where I picked it up, but I became very aware at some point that everything the chicken touches might as well be poison until the chicken is cooked. Because chicken are disgusting.
I mean, the it is not an instantaneous infection on all like raw chicken meat, but the risk is much higher. So yeah, you want to be careful. Oh yeah.
Oh, cilantro. I meant cilantro. Sorry guys, I just woke up. I'm an asshole.
Right. But yeah, that's what I would say is like if there's any like tool that you should go train to level up faster than you should naturally, you can kind of cheat the system a little bit by getting really good with spices. Because if you get really good with spices, you can like in a weird way you can take all kinds of bland foods, bland meats, bland anythings, and you can add the right combination to it and create a really tasty flavor. But that will become a consistent flavor that it's like, oh, you did the thing to this now, So it's like, hey, like slice hint of spice, lemony chicken, hint of spice, lemony shrimp, hint of spice, lemony fish, and they all taste great, but like it's a good early hack to kind of minimize the effort, so to speak. So I would say that's a good place to look at.
So far I've been following pretty stringent recipes, which lets the OCD really thrive. Actually, it's funny, but the one of the same mental states that caused cooking to be so difficult to get into has worked out really well
because you approach it from the same level of like obsessiveness.
Yeah, pretty much. That being said, I'm fucking exhausted after I cook, man.
Oh yeah, dude. That's a long ass task. I mean, in some cases, I mean, I don't want to blow the spot up too much, but there was a recent Punch Mom adventure where she was like cooking like some meatballs that took a long time to make, and it was like almost an entire Sunday. Like, it was crazy, so like it definitely is something where you have to kind of clear out your schedule a little bit, / don't expect it'll be a half hour and then you can jump back to whatever else you were doing.
I saw somebody in our chat say that cleaning is the worst part. I disagree, man. Making a filthy countertop and dishes not filthy is very satisfying.
Depends on how complex the stuff you're making is, and
because it's clean.
And it also depends on whether you're making it all at the same time, right?
Yeah.
If you were doing every part of that plate at the same time, then you've got some chopped salad on one side, some rice boiling over there, some meat in the oven. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was I made what the fuck was it called? Curry beef samosa. And it's like, okay, the rice is going, and the beef's on there and it's been on there for 4 minutes. Am I adding the garlic and the shallots yet? And it's like, okay, what about the aioli? Where's that going? And it's like, I might have wanted to choose something slightly easier for literally the first thing I made.
It would be a good idea.
But hey, it worked out great. It was good.
Okay.
Paige gave me 2 thumbs up from her busted ass position in bed.
There you go. Did you taste it?
I did. It was great.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. Well, good stuff. Good on you. That's
Yeah.
that is a
So
late
I'm
but essential
learning
skill.
to do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been using I really think the biggest, most helpful intermediate step is that we've been using those like you familiar with like Good Food or fucking what are they called? Like meal kit services?
Oh, I mean, yeah, like you mentioned. Well, the other sponsor this week is Sunbasket, which is a meal kit service. So yeah, stuff like that.
Because like bruh, like just being able to find the ingredients at all,
Mm-hmm.
literally at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like we originally started to pick them up because we were like, huh, that's 3 orders in a row. Walmart won't send us any meat. This is becoming worrying.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that all calmed down, right? But then it's like, oh, hey, this is actually really useful.
Yeah. Well, that's we'll get into it a little bit later, but that is in fact the handiness of that type of service, and you learn in the process. So cool.
Yay. What else I do? Whatever, man. I played some of the usuals. I've been playing a shit zillion tons of Dead by Daylight, in which... How do I put this? Well, you play a significant amount of competitive games. Would you say... Would you be able to describe a game in which the higher the ranks you go up, the shittier the game becomes?
I mean, it depends on what your metric of shitty is, but like, there's definitely a feeling of that in some of the older classics, as it were. Like, there's if you are getting into, I don't know, let's say, like Marvel 2, because you love that roster. Well, guess what? The higher you go, the more that roster does not apply. And yeah, I don't know where it's at now, but I definitely remember that the state that I left Overwatch in was one where like the comps in each competitive season were kind of like it burnt in, and it was a little bit like, well, if you're not playing this and you're not playing the counter to this, then fucking stop.
I don't remember if I said it here or on my own stream, but I'm like, I can't think of a game more than Overwatch, which is like, I think that game got worse on every update that it ever received. Like that 1.0 version was a blast, and then every single update they ever put out just got worse and worse and worse.
It seemed that like people got more and more upset with it, for sure. Although new characters and stages is always a fun thing in any video game. But
yeah,
there was always like an immediate like, oh God, what the fuck are you doing with this kit? You know, what did you do here? Why did you do it like that? You rework this? What's going on?
And oh great, you nerfed Roadhog into the ground. Sick.
Yeah, that game's balancing act. I don't even know where to begin, and I also don't know where to end, because it's like, I don't envy that job, and it's very clearly like, it sounds as if like, yeah, moving forward, even with the justification for a lot of the changes, like problems ended up getting borked harder.
Yeah, competitive like ranked came out, and then they started to balance for that and made the game less fun to play.
I think it took like 3 or 4. How many seasons it took for them for Mercy to get like
I don't know what the Mercy changes are, but apparently they're the most outrageous change that the game ever received.
So Mercy went from heroes never die, everyone gets back up. Remember that?
Yeah.
So she went from
the best move in the entire game.
That was her thing. That's her entire identity, and that's her. That was the fucking the res thing. It went from that to being she can res individuals as her second ability on cooldown every once in a while, but she could res one at a time. So she would solo res people instead of using an ult to do it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, so that's the thing is the
I don't know about that.
But like the res was like I don't know. I don't know. We're not qualified to have this discussion, but it was that was a huge rework they had for her. There was a huge, there was that giant rework they had for Symmetra. But yeah, all that stuff was happening, and I remember when like I was playing and it was just like, okay, so what's the flavor of this season? Is it dive comp? Is it heavy boys? And it's like, okay, yeah, you gotta have tanks, more like 3 tanks, just like or whatever the like 3-2-1.
Yeah, that game's a mess, dude.
3-2-1 was the state of affairs for a while there. Yeah, I don't know. And then yes, exactly. The one that I have zero idea about because I was completely out by that point, but I hear a lot about is Brigitte being just
busted,
absolutely despised from top to bottom.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm like, man, that sounds like a consensus on her not being a good time. But at the same time, like I thought the design was pretty cool, so I was like, oh, that's a shame,
Yeah. The reason I mentioned this is that I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight, and I've been improving significantly at Dead by Daylight. There's 20 ranks. They go in golf order, and I used to hover around rank 13, right? I'm now down to rank 8, right? And it's this funny thing where people disconnecting when you hook them, that's gone because people actually care about their penalties, right?
Okay.
What's it been replaced with? Honest to Christ lag switching.
In
Just
what way?
Straight up. You're chasing somebody, and then they start running in a straight line, and then you hit them, and it doesn't register, and then they literally teleport and disappear away.
Okay. Yeah.
I was streaming it, and people, like, it literally happened on stream directly in front of me. And I was like, really? Come on.
Honestly, I was going to say any competitive game where there's no punishment for disconnection and or rage quitting will have a insanely high concentration of fuckery at the top, because the higher you go, the more you encounter the people who successfully got to the top by doing that.
So this isn't disconnecting. This is lag switching. Right? Are you familiar with the difference?
I'm familiar, but I'm wondering what the actual process is they're doing to create an unstable connection.
Oh, I believe it's like a physical component.
Because I remember trying to do this in person a couple times, and I was unsuccessful. Whether it was like trying to like destabilize the connection. Like I imagine like if you were to do something like change it from like minimize the program, or switch it from full screen to not, there'd be these weird little hiccups perhaps, but I don't know how that would affect.
No, it's a button. It's a physical box.
Okay.
So there's that, and then you get to the problem where Dead by Daylight actually has
oh my god. Sorry, no. Okay, no, hold on. People, because I didn't explain. People think I'm like, oh my god, you were trying to do that yourself. I was trying to do it for a fucking dumb gimmick event I was having, where I wanted to make people suffer by having bad conditions to play games under, because it would be fun.
Sure, buddy.
Yeah. So that's what was up.
Sure, buddy.
All right. Well, anyway.
Whatever you say.
I said my piece.
But Dead by Daylight also has a weird, like, systemic problem that I don't know how they can ever fix. The game was designed and built under the assumption that there was no voice chat, because that would really ruin the scary atmosphere, right? And there's a bunch of perks that you could take that shows you where other survivors are, or where the killer is, yada yada, stuff like that. because you're working cooperatively but quietly, right?
Yep.
However, you can queue up with a gang of 4, and you can just hop in Discord. And the advantage that 4 survivors have when they're all in Discord calling out where the killer is and shit like that, and being able to find each other instantly to heal each other, is so enormous that you can get into a game and like I'll be circling the generators and literally not be able to hit people once before they get all 5. And like the game is it's a wash. And
yeah, any cooperative, any experience like this in anything is insanely bolstered by clear communication through Discord or team chat.
It's really crazy because when you play against like 4 randos that are randomly matched together and they're all rank 1, wow. It is way easier and more fun to have that match than it is to fight like 4 in a gang rank 15s. Like it's just so obvious that the game was actually designed with the idea that you couldn't talk to each other. And it's so fucking frustrating.
Yeah, so and because you're 1v how many?
1v4.
1v4. It's not like you can repeat the advantage by having, your own team speak going on.
Yeah.
So yep, you do have to balance with that in mind. If you balance without it in mind, then you run into that problem.
That being said, getting good at Dead by Daylight, man, that game's incredible. There is so much like tech in that game. Like map, and most of that tech is just map awareness. Like the maps, it's weird because the maps look randomized when you get into them, but they're not. They're actually very well defined. It's just placement of objectives is randomized per match, and you have to learn the loops, which is like the areas that the fucking survivors can loop you and then, drop pallets on you or jump through windows that'll slow you down. And I recently started implementing the simplest thing in the world, but it's moonwalking, which is like you walk backwards because the killer's head projects a red light that shows you where they're coming. So the idea is that you see the red light coming around a corner, you turn around, run the other way. But if you walk backwards, that red light doesn't show up, and people will just run into you. Like they will be like, aha, he's behind me, he's chasing, and they will literally run into your back.
Okay, so there's
then you spin around when you get the collision and pop them.
Jesus Christ! So there's countermeasures for, the coordination you're describing.
Yeah, but that's not for the coordination. That's just pure like
that's just
one-on-one.
Yeah, that's just tech. Yeah.
And all just right. Like if you're playing a character that can dash all the way across the map, you learn like, hey, what unobstructed like sight lines are there on this map that I can actually just dash the whole way, stuff like that. That game's great. You know what game is not great? Sea of Thieves.
Oh, did you even try?
I did.
Now, why would you try when you knew from the outset that this was not for you because it was not about the stuff you want in your video games?
Because I got the key.
Okay. Because I think there was an event, or I forgot where, but at some point the discussion occurred. And it was basically like, oh yeah, this is a game where you don't level up, and you mentally checked out.
Yeah. And then I was told that they added a shit ton of content. And when I logged in, yeah, there's a shit zillion like cosmetics and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's cool. That's something to progress towards. But also, if they added a shit ton of content and different types of missions, like you could at least do those missions like a couple times at least, right? And I applied and got a key. and then I got a key in like an hour. So like, fuck it, I'll throw it in.
Okay.
Game's gorgeous. Game's fucking gorgeous. Controls well. Great sound. Good voice acting. What might be the shittiest character creator I have ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. To the point where I thought it was broken. And then I looked it up. And I looked up Sea of Thieves character creator to find an article why the Sea of Thieves character creator might not be for you. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Now, I love picking apart a good character creator, so hit me. What's going on?
All right, so here's the character creator. You load in, and it randomly generates 6 different pirates for you to choose.
Sure, yep.
And it says pick one.
Yep, that's a standard. Okay, starting point.
That's the end.
Oh my god.
Oh, wait, no, there's a step 2. Don't like these 6? Re-roll them again.
Generate another 6.
And I sat there for 40 minutes doing this. And once you do it long enough, you get to see, you can intuit the sliders that are happening, right? You can see there's a face slider, there's a weight slider, there's a clothes slider, etc.
Oh, that's the worst it's ever
not
been.
Allowed to.
That's
pick
the worst.
them.
Yeah. No. All right. That's the worst one. That's the worst character creator I've ever heard of. That's the worst one. Yep. Okay. You literally get no choice. We will roll 6 for you, and then re-roll again. Pull the lever.
Because they want it to be a rare crafted pirate. Even though when you re-roll it enough times, you get to see they're not crafted at all. They're just like a bunch of different heads and hairs and body types.
So how much does it... Okay, but is this the kind of game where like within 10 minutes you're going to be wearing equipment of your choice anyway, so you won't really even notice?
Yeah, equipment, but your whole body type and gender, race, hair color, etc. None of those are actual choices.
Pick from 6.
Yes, as somebody in chat points out, there's a character selector from a bunch of randomly generated
creator. Yep.
Yep. Like, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's so bad.
Ooh,
so I loaded in.
Yikes.
And the tutorial's really cool. And it's one of those games where one of the things that I really appreciated is they give you a sloop, which is like a tiny little ship. And it's like, okay, you have to wait, like moving the sail, like determining your speed is by unfurling the sails a certain amount. And you repair the ship with wood below decks. You have to hoist the anchor.
Is sailing fun?
Yeah. And like when you're sailing, it's like, okay, the person who, like if I wanted to say shoot a cannon, I'd have to stop steering the ship and walk over to the cannon.
Okay,
right?
So like Guns of Icarus.
So yeah, very much like Guns of Icarus. And I'm like, okay, that's really cool. And I can definitely see how that would be both cool with a lot of people, especially on bigger ships, or like bullshitting your way around on a sloop with a one-man crew to like aim it. And so like, for example, I had a really hard time docking my ship because I didn't know when to drop the anchor and when to drop the sail, stuff like that. Did the tutorial. Fighting's pretty simple, but it's enjoyable. Explore an island, that's pretty cool. Go to the first island, like, story setup, and you do the first story quest, which is go to some bumfuck island out in the middle, whatever, kill a couple skeletons, get a treasure chest, come back, right? Hey, this is pretty enjoyable so far, right? Then I got back to the dock, and another ship of dudes sailed in, and I waved at them. I stood on the pier and I waved at them. And then they jumped out and they shot me and I died. And then when I respawned 15 seconds later, they were burning my ship down. And proceeded to spawn camp me for about 20 minutes.
Sounds like pirates.
And then when I went to Twitter and was like, hey, this seems like shit. People said, oh, you gotta matchmake, you gotta get a crew. So went to matchmaking and then was in matchmaking for an hour. And then the game loaded in with one party member that never spawned into the world and no one else.
Okay, but you can't say that was not the pirate experience.
I suppose so. But it was like, it's like if you cannot convince 2 or 3 people that you know to shell out the $60 for this to play with you at literally all times, it's worthless. And I feel like that's a big ask. Like, you look at something like Deep Rock Galactic or, you know, any other similar whatever, and they're like $20-$30, right? But grabbing like big money for something like that, and then the possibility of everyone going like, oh, that sucks, especially with the tutorial that lasts like an hour.
I'm sure that there are a number of people that kind of like I'm sure there's a number of people that just picked it up and wandered into some sort of ship or guild or clan or something that you could do without having the buddies, though. Like, there must be.
There's matchmaking, but in my experience, the matchmaking didn't work at all. And when the matchmaking does work, I was informed that it's a coin flip as to whether or not you'll have a good experience or you'll get some dumbass.
The other thing to imagine is that there must be a Discord that you can jump in and be like, hey, looking for group.
Sure. But, yeah, cool game. Seems very well made. Seems like a total waste of money to play it in any other way than with a gang of friends. Which sucks.
Yeah, I can see that game being like that. But again, you could probably meet a gang of friends through, you know, searching if you wanted to, but I was curious to I was wondering how far in you would have went though, cuz
I got to the point until the game told me I couldn't play anymore because either my ship was constantly burning down or matchmaking didn't work. So that was like 2 hours. Wait, hold on. I'll tell you right now. It's either 2 or 3 hours. I don't fucking library Sea of Thieves is 105 minutes.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Well, you know, there's definitely games that like you absolutely like should be playing with a group anyway for the fun to kick in, you know, but the question is like how good is it when you're playing it optimally as well, you know?
Who knows? Not me. I love that because the general consistent explanation that I'm seeing in the chat is just play it on Game Pass, which requires you to use the Microsoft Store.
Okay.
Which makes video games pointless and your computer broken.
Yeah, I would but like the main reason why I would ask though is just because, like, you know, imagine you're playing A Way Out single player, right?
Yeah. Well, that's actually unplayable at all. Like,
does it actually stop you? Yeah.
Yeah. You're straight up not allowed. That's why when you pick up the game, it gives you like a fucking digital copy of the game for a friend in the game. Like, every copy of the game is like a fucking like double game.
Good. I forgot that detail then. Good. But yeah, there's games where, you know, it's like there's a significantly fun version of it if you play with people versus if you try to play it not with people and you're kind of just ultimately having the wrong experience. I mean, hey, like, we could talk about fighting games, right? But anyway, whatever. I mean, I was more expecting the premise itself and the fact that it is a whatever you want to call it, like experienceless game. You know, it's like a
Lateral progression.
lateral
is the
progression.
fake-ass term they
there we
invented
go.
for it.
Lateral progression. Everything's flattened. I thought that would have been the biggest problem for you, if anything. So
No, I you know, like I enjoy like when I was fucking around with the ship and like, you know, steering it and all do that shit. Like I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I could spend some time sailing the seas and piloting this ship right up until it was like, oh, this is a horribly miserable experience.
okay. Any more Runeterra?
Yes, tons. That game's great. That game's incredible. I've been playing with a friend of mine who unfortunately is way better at card games than I am and has been stomping my shit into the dirt for a week. Like, way better than I am. Like, holy shit. I'm embarrassed.
Is it not? Is it your deck?
No. It's me.
It's you.
Because like I had built up a real deck by the end of the first week and played against him when he had a objectively weaker starter deck, and he won like 4 out of 5 games.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. Absolutely.
Which, hey, that means the game is really good, right? Because even better deck, you know, whatever. But it's like, oh shit.
I mean, if you can recognize the patterns and the if you can recognize what you're playing, then you can, you know, prepare the counters in place for it.
I am very, very, very slowly learning the little ins and outs.
Oh, it was SC Patton?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, it was Cool Lightning.
Oh. I was lied to. All right.
Yes, you were. You got punked. But yeah, that game's great, and man, they dole out cards like crazy. You get cards all the time. It is genuinely much more satisfying than, you know, doing your dailies to get a rank up to get like a fucking a booster that has nothing but garbage in it.
But are they cards that you immediately implement or that you want to use?
No, I'm building up a fucking because like it's a really weird system where if you play for like 2 months, it's assumed that you just are going to get all the cards. You'll just get all of them. So like I'm building up a ton, and when I unlock my weekly at the end of this week, what I'll do is I'll look at what I have and I'll see what I can make, and then I'll use shards or wild cards to fill in some rosters and make like a second or third deck, right?
Okay.
And then next week I'll see what I get out of all of those, and so on and so forth.
So there's a lot of events that you can do, or rather, it seems like there's a lot of events you can do in Teppen to me that like throw like, you know, good quality cards at you. Because besides the rankings, like there's these tournament battles you can do where like, you know, it's kind of just like, okay, like best of 5, see what your best score is. There'll be like a Coliseum where they go like, okay, everyone starts with the same super card in the middle, and you have to play around that strategy, and you know, a couple of things like that. And those will reward you with a couple of like, you know, some legendaries and things like that. I completely stopped caring once I had set my deck in place, and then I started caring when I had to go and like try and build another one. But I'm at a place in Teppen where I am like more or less content with what I have, and new cards don't mean as much because I just kind of check them out. And if I have to recreate a deck to, you know, kind of learn the workings of it, then that'll matter. But pretty much until that happens, I don't really care about the new cards I get that much, outside of like, oh fuck, it's a cool character, I check out the art on this, look at it, you know.
Yeah, Runeterra's got a thing where, like I said, it's assumed that you'll get all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you play regularly, you will get all of those cards in a relatively short period of time, all of them. And even if you don't, they are extremely generous with wild cards, which are just cards you can trade in for anything else. So it's this kind of thing where usually when I open up a box that I've unlocked or whatever, it's like, oh, I've been seeing that card ruin my day for a week. Right? Or, oh, that's part of this type of aggro deck or this type of mid-range deck or whatever. Cool. And then you go and look and you're like, oh, hey, I actually have 80% of what I would need to get this type of deck going. I'm just missing this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have the resources to get this and this and this? Yes, I do, etc.
So it was pointed out to me by a couple people, actually, and like that there was an existing naming convention. There's a nomenclature for types of card game players, and it kind of divides the mentality of what different players are after into groups. It came like there was an email that kind of like summarized it, but like I got a link from a couple people on Twitter as well. But it more or less is like there's how players enjoy playing the game is broken up into Timmys, Johnnies, Spikes, Mels, and Vorthos. Have you heard of this at all?
I have not. Holy shit.
So, I'll just give you the email version of it, but like, yeah, I've been glancing over these summaries, because these are like Wizards of the Coast apparently like put this out. This particular message comes from Frank, and he says, Wizards of the Coast, Magic the Gathering makers spent a long time analyzing how players play their card games and have come up with 5 player profiles, some of which overlap. The first 3 describe how players enjoy the game, and the latter 2 describe what they enjoy about the game. So, a Timmy is a player who likes big cards, big creatures, big spells, big power moves that'll win the game. They don't bother with complicated combos. They just get to the big stick and bash the opponent's face in. A Timmy doesn't necessarily play to win. Some do, but they enjoy the feeling of playing the game regardless of the outcome.
Got it.
Johnny.
That's a they will endure deck.
Johnny is the opposite. A Johnny will spend the entire game building up to the 7-card interaction that lets him win the game in a marvelously convoluted fashion. For a Johnny, how you win can be as important as winning. Building your deck to have fun interactions becomes a form of self-expression. Johnnies are also usually the kind of players who will take a card everyone sees as terrible and find an off-the-wall, unexpected use for it.
That's a deep deck. That's a Maokai Nautilus deep deck for sure.
So big number and do combo. Spike plays to win, full stop. Doesn't matter what they play. Doesn't matter what's in the deck. You play to win. Spikes are the players who will often look up the meta, just copy-paste with their own collection. They might min-max said decks into competitive perfection, but for Spike, it's not about big cards or elaborate combos. It's whatever works.
Yeah, that's net decking. The net decking didn't exist back then, but it does now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would call the Spike the Sadford, quite frankly. That would be.
Oh yeah, the Sanford.
That's a Sadford right there. Yeah. And then on the what the players enjoy side of things, there's Mel. Mel enjoys the mechanics of the game, interesting interactions between cards with new interesting effects, layers of complexity. For Mel, the art and the lore of the card isn't as important as what the card actually does in game. So that leaves Vorthos, who is the opposite of Mel. Vorthos likes the game because of the cool art and intricate lore. Vorthos doesn't enjoy playing a card because its mechanics, but because of what the mechanics represent in universe for the card.
Vorthos is a dumbass.
These profiles can and do overlap, but there's more intricacies that can be described in this one email if you had to peg. Yeah, so that's that. There you go. Yeah, okay. Well, I like seeing the translation of characters into card form, because I think if you do if it converts really well, I think that's awesome and satisfying. So
Okay, Wolfos.
I will gladly accept a mixture of Vorthos and probably I started as Johnny Vorthos, but then I think I ended on Spike Vorthos, right? My Nero was Johnny Vorthos, and then when I switched to Zero, it became Spike Vorthos.
I'm hanging out on Johnny Spike.
Yeah.
I like my big cards, dude. They're big.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you know. Well, wait, no, that's Timmy. You mean big creatures,
You're right.
big spells, big
Timmy
moves.
Spike.
Timmy Spike. Okay, big moves to win.
I'll spike that, Timmy.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, you know, whatever. Say what you will, but it's like the idea of like converting a character like V who doesn't fight, doesn't attack on his own. He only summons.
What are you talking about? She fights all the time. She's got punch fists.
Okay, well, taking a character like V, the Mysterious One, from the Devil May Cry series, featuring, he doesn't fight on his own, and he does nothing, and he only calls in his summons, and the 3 summons come in and do the work for him. You know, converting that into a deck or into a card where he shows up, he has average life, he has 0 attack, he does nothing, so he just takes up space on the board. But every time you play a spell of some kind, you resonate, every time you switch over to that phase, he summons one of the 3 randoms, and the 3 randoms all have their individual unique traits in the form of Nightmare and Catbird. So
you okay, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. No, but it's cool. It's cool seeing the translation.
Catbird.
Catbird. That's correct.
Good old Catbird.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. So, eventually, you kind of get to see like other versions. Like I described Sigma last time, but yeah, Shadow and Griffin. There you go. They have a very cool like representation, and I think it's worth acknowledging. If like, oh, hey, smart, you put these guys in the game in a way that makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying Runeterra quite a bit. I'm eagerly awaiting my Tuesday reset cards and see what kind of new deck I can make with it. Yeah, Dead by Daylight, Sea of Thieves. Oh, this is a bit of an aside, but I feel it's very important. Played some Call of Duty Warzone on stream earlier this week.
Did you?
Have you seen what this game has done?
Yes.
It is my favorite of the empty gestures that we've seen everywhere. It is by far the best empty gesture.
I saw that shit, and in fact, yeah, that came up. I did a guest spot on the Inside Gaming podcast, which you can check out, available now this week, and that was brought up on it, where Call of Duty replaced the entire press start screen with Black Lives Matter. And
every loading screen has a big message.
And it's like, you are going to see this, no question. That was wild. They came hard with it. Not as hard as ice cream, though.
I discovered 2 things about this. Mm-hmm. One, while loading up the stream, I was recommended en masse by chat, dude, you really want to put streamer mode on? People are changing their names. They are upset.
Mm-hmm.
They are very upset. And 2, I talked a bit about the protests in that stream, and got my favorite comment ever, which was on my Call of Duty Warzone stream, which was like, "Can we please not talk about politics in our video games, please?" And it's like, I'm sorry, the game about war in a fictional Middle Eastern country and whether or not you should use like interrogation brutality to save lives, I shouldn't talk about. And also, I think it's funny because I talked about that before I started playing the game, so that comment probably came through before they saw that the game in fact is actually putting the direct topic of the day literally in your face every 15 to 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's unavoidable, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. There was a screenshotted post that was going around of a Facebook message that basically was like about how X-Men was always about civil rights, and then it goes into how just about every superhero story and every comic you've read and everything about Star Wars, and like I can't find it, but it is a gigantic thing basically describing that like it's never not been political, and if you didn't notice that, then you missed the point. So it's kind of like impossible. Well,
as long as they keep politics out of Metal Gear, okay.
As long as they keep politics out of Metal Gear, yeah, exactly. And it kind of it's a very long post, and it hammers the point in. I'm kind of frantically searching to see if I can find it, but I don't know if I will. But you know, and it just kind of like leaves you on the note of like, you know, like perhaps your mentality has changed. Maybe have you become the villain? Here we go. X-Men is about civil rights. If you don't get that, you didn't get X-Men. Black Panther is about civil rights. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Black Panther. Captain America literally fought Nazis. He's the embodiment of fighting the alt-right. If you don't get that, you didn't get Captain America. The Empire in Star Wars is a fascist.
Did you say fascist?
I'm gonna keep making that mistake. He's the embodiment of fighting the alt-right. The Empire in Star Wars is fascist. The Rebel Alliance are anti-fascist. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Star Wars. Punisher isn't meant to be a role model for the police or armed forces, so much that the writers of Punisher made him actively speak out against it in a comic. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Punisher. Deadpool's queer. He's pansexual. Fact. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Deadpool. Star Trek is about equality for all genders, races, and sexualities. As early as the mid-'60s, it was taking a pro-choice stance and defending women's rights to choose. It's one of the clearest themes. Is accepting different cultures and appearances working together for peace. It's also anti-capitalist.
Hey, hold on one last thing. Star Trek was about equality in the future, and it featured such amazing quotes as, "Look, we have a Russian on the ship, and we also have a black, but no gays, no gays." Gene Roddenberry was famous in that we will have solved the gay problem in space future.
In brackets, it's also anti-capitalist and pro-vegan. So if you didn't get that, you didn't get Star Trek. Superman and Supergirl, a whole host of other superheroes are immigrants. The stance of these comics is pro-immigration and pro-equality and acceptance. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Superman or Supergirl. Stan Lee said racism and bigotry are among the deadliest social ills plaguing the world today. If you're a bigoted or racist, you didn't get any of the characters Stan Lee created.
And then he stole all of Jack Kirby's characters.
The stories we grew up with all taught us to value other people and cultures and treasure the differences between us. Only villains were xenophobic or sexist or racist or totalitarian. Can't understand, except for the slap a jab, buy war bonds. Remember that shit? That wasn't great.
I do. Well, I don't remember it because I wasn't alive in the 1940s.
Can't understand how anyone can have missed that.
Are you reading the whole post?
Yeah. There's like one paragraph left.
Oh, okay.
If you're upset that there's a black Spider-Man or black Captain America or a female Thor, Miss Marvel is Muslim, or that Captain Marvel was pro-feminism, or any of the other things that right-wing fangs say is stealing their childhood, then you never got it in the first place. The things you claim are now pandering. To the left, these were never on your side to begin with. If you consider yourself a fan of these things, but you think LGBTQ plus community is too in your face, or have a problem with Black Lives Matter, or want to take the country back from the immigrants, you're not really a fan at all. Geek culture isn't suddenly left-wing. It always was. You just grew up to be intolerant. You became the villain in the stories you used to love. So, like, this was a Kenny Boyle on Facebook wrote that. And the idea ultimately being that, like, if you're kind of, coming across these things and saying like, if you feel that somehow these things were apolitical, they were not. They were super duper duper not.
I think part of the problem there is that the understanding the average person has of the word political is incredibly shit, and people tend to say, when somebody says, oh, there's a political message in this movie or game, they somehow seem to get upset and be like, I don't want to be told who to vote for or some shit. And it's like, no, it just means that it says something at all.
Yeah.
Like it could be as minor as vegetarianism is the way to go, or Star Trek doesn't have money, and there are characters that constantly laugh at everyone in the Federation because they're like, how do you do shit with that money? That's fucking so stupid.
Yeah.
And there are problems that, like, it's really funny because you get TOS and TNG where they have no money and it's all utopia, and then you have Deep Space Nine where they have to deal with cultures that do use money, and they're like, no, seriously though, we're not gonna give this shit to you for free. So what are you, stupid?
Some of the worst examples I encountered were like people that were, for lack of a better term, like living straw man examples, where it's like, you know, the straw man you'd point to be like, yeah, that's a bad argument because no one is like that. And then there's a video of a guy filming himself going on a rant about how he can no longer buy video games because video games as a whole hate him and his race and what they stand for. And it's like, you think that supporting this literally means, like, supporting what's happening now literally means we hate and want to eradicate white people. And it's like, that is so, like, saddeningly insane, you know. And then to film it and throw it up online and you know, and like other people were like yeah, totally with you there, I agree. And you're like, that's what you're gathering from this? Like, it's a straw man. It's something that you wouldn't expect to be real, you know.
But as the white person on this podcast, I'd like to take this for a second and be like, that's really funny to me because we just got off of 2 back-to-back generations of, oh my god, can I please get a different character design than Nathan Drake or bald white space marine? Anything. Anything. I don't care. I don't give a shit. But anything other than these 2 fucking character archetypes, it is so boring.
Yeah.
And what's almost more upsetting to me than the racist undertones to this is people looking at those designs and be like, oh yeah, oh, that's my favorite. Yeah. Just like, oh my god. And Nathan Drake, that's a good character design right there.
There's sort of a consistency to it that I you know, you kind of just like, it often gets brought up where in many of these cases, because boy has there been, you know, like absolute, like, just like dogfighting on Twitter threads, you know, but I guess it's just a bit of like when you see what happened and then you see the response and like you're deliberately choosing to like ignore the main struggle to like emphasize that there is to emphasize like something else is more important than the main struggle. It kind of betrays that you don't think the main struggle was that important, or it betrays something else. It's something about the mentality of choosing to kind of circumvent the point, you know, to create a different point that I really get confused by. But you know, like, it's not confusing as much as it is just kind of sad, because like the person in question doesn't necessarily realize what they're doing, you know. But it's like, yeah, your takeaway, like crazy straw man person, is that people want you and your entire race dead because of these demonstrations. And it's like, way to just make it like the most self-centered thing, because like if you hear something and then you can't fit your own existence into that to figure out like how it relates to you, then it can't possibly be valid.
Yeah, Poe's law is the shit. And to those of you who are unaware of Poe's law, it's pretty simple, and it's one of the newer argumentative laws, which is without a clear description of the authorial intent, i.e., are they being sarcastic or not, it's actually really, really, really hard to tell whether or not somebody is actually that fucking stupid or they're pretending to be that fucking stupid. It's shocking because we're through the fucking looking glass on this shit.
Yeah.
Where it has become impossible to tell whether or not somebody is faking it or not unless they come out and literally say they are.
But what is like sad? Yeah, no, totally. What is sad is just like the idea of like this is a reaction to hearing something, not seeing what's going on, not understanding it, not understanding what the words Black Lives Matter even really mean, and then kind of responding in a fearful, this must be out to get me kind of way, and then instead of stopping to confirm that that's the case, you just follow through that chain of thought to its end point, which is like they're out to get me, they're out to destroy us, when that's not remotely the case. But your fear and then your, I guess, habit of not double checking to see whether or not that's real or not, you don't confirm it, so you just live in this world of like, this is not what's happening, but you've created the reality around you. It's fucking sad, man.
Now, to take your well thought out and eloquently stated point and put a spin on it, alternatively, the people we're talking about are big dumb babies who like to poop their own diapers and then eat it.
In a manner of speaking.
I've been dealing with many of these diaper babies over the past week, and I swear to God, I know I was wrong about Dark Souls a bunch, but people seem to think I'm fucking stupid. Did you see that dumb bitch motherfucker who DM'd me with this fucking condescending shit yesterday?
No.
Hey man, I can show you some things and we can talk. It's about what's going on in the world. I know you've had some people heckle you and just be dicks at you, but I'm willing to try to be totally civil and polite if you just lend an ear. I think it's imperative to have a range of perspectives so you get a better understanding of the world around you so you don't become a fanatical cultist. If you're streaming or about to, we can save this for later whenever you're available. Fanatical. And then you go and click on their icon and you scroll down their tweet history and you go, oh, I know what you're trying to tell me. Don't you worry.
Oh, okay. So listen, sis. Okay.
Sometimes, and I'm like, do not think I am fucking stupid enough to get pulled into your stupid shit without at least doing the cursory glance at your fucking goddamn profile.
There is a very, very clear, like, this is what I put forth in replies in this discussion, and then the moment you kind of like go, what's up here, and then 2 posts down, it's like, oh, okay, this you? That's called it's called the this you. It's a big old gotcha that's been popular for a while now, where anyone will say something. Usually it's a company in a lot of cases, and for example, Activision Blizzard will make their statement about Black Lives Matter, and then you will go and grab the Hong Kong thing and then post that and just go, this you? That's same person? So you got to hit him with that every once in a while. I had to enjoy one of those a little bit earlier this weekend, where it was just like, I don't know, I was being called a hack, and then like you scroll 2 points down and you're like, oh, a word, okay, all right, you're not a real person.
Oh, I've been dealing with this similarly, and I've been slapping people down all week because apparently they think people think you're stupid.
Well, I mean, like, if that's
you're not like, people are sitting in their armchair and they think they're very smart and that they're like, haha, got him. dumb influencer. And
Well,
it's like, no, you really don't.
I think it's honestly more in some cases like if I
Fuck you, chat. Fuck you, chat. Fuck you. They're all just going, well.
I think it's more along the lines of like if I hide what I really feel, I might be able to like slowly convince this person to see things my way, despite the fact that there is a end point that I am at here, which is ridiculous, and you know it, so you have to hide it, whether it's on your burner account or on, you know what I mean? And anyway.
Oh my god, people are so pathetic with these fucking burner accounts, dude. It's so sad.
Dude, I don't, you know, whatever, man. Like it's the fucking the Bidoof post, right? When you're shamelessly, hopelessly addicted to hentai, but you're going off on everything else. And as I said, you know, at the end of the little thing that happened on Twitter, where, you know, sometimes like block and move on's a nice policy to follow, and generally it's the right way to go. But every once in a while, if you stick around, you find out how the story ends. And in this particular case, this dude who was just like cartoonishly racist and silly. Someone found a post where he just was like, God, I'm so lonely, and you're just like, oh my god, oh there it is. There it is. Oh boy. And got him, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. So, you know, yeah, but it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work out that cartoonish, but sometimes it does, you know. And I guarantee you that those who are, you know, sort of even upset at this moment hearing this are thinking, well, I'm not that cartoonish, and I think there's possibly a you know, there's a milder point of view here that you're being willfully ignorant about, and it's like not. I hear you, and the discussion is being had, you know, quite detailed, but I think the core point will always come down to like, there is a clear wrong that took place. There is a focus, and there is a potential for a result to occur right now, and this is kind of the priority and point, and that should be an obvious thing. And
I don't know.
There can be other statements.
Pretty cringe.
But there can be other statements and other details and other facts as well that are relevant. There can be other problems that need to be addressed. There are tons of other things that are broken and fucked up and shitty. Right now, there is a lot of momentum towards possibly doing something about what happened, and that would be a good thing to focus on. That's about it. And if you don't necessarily agree with that, then that's there's nothing else to really say. That's okay. It just seems like a weird way to like deprioritize, you know. But anyway.
We need to stop talking about these political things in the podcast, because this is a video game podcast.
It is.
Now, do we have any news this week about video game companies infringing on people's consumer rights and being evil? Because that is definitely not political.
Yeah.
What do I gotta do to get on this fucking traitor list?
It's pretty.
I'm super pissed off,
dude. I'm kind of like, yeah. No, I know it sucks. It sucks. Me too. Step one is I was like, I have to be real. Like when I saw the list of traitors to America by One Angry Gamer HD, and I was like, oh please, and I scroll and I'm like, god damn it, because I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's because I like maybe it's being Canadian. Maybe it's being Canadian.
No, there are Canadians on there.
Yeah, Matt got on there for sure. So yeah. I'm like, you know, maybe it's just not coming targeted enough. You know, maybe it's not. There's
like screenshots of their traitorism. Oh my god, this
Max
is so elaborate.
Is on there. It's wild.
Wait, is Max still on there? I thought Max got taken off.
Oh, I thought he was. The last I saw,
he
on probation.
He got put back on for defending Marvel vs. Capcom.
He was put on probation. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's No, I know it sucks.
I'm just, ugh. I demand to be on there. I'm so offended that I'm not on the Traitor to America list. I stole an American woman. I stole a good one. She's broken now.
But again, the problem of the language is the implication of traitor, which is that you are you started as an American.
It also implies that loyalty to America is to be assumed.
That's the funniest and best part of it, is if you're speaking and you're out there in English and you're in English and you're default American, you know.
Yeah.
That's all. That,
even the Canadians and the Brits and everyone that, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, how could you not? Like, I mean, it's
Yeah, that happens a lot. That does.
I think the funniest thing I've seen is people going like, "Hey, OAG, I really appreciate you compiling this list of people to support." And he's like, "What? No,
that's not what this is for."
That's not what it's for.
Please. And it's like, oh, why would you be so honest? Why would you type in your bewilderment and then press send and use ellipses to space it out? It's almost cartoonish. It is a cartoonish response. Like, you're supposed to have that moment in real life and go, oh, and then actually come back with some snark. But the fact that it cut through and it actually got him to be like, wait, what? No. Oh, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, man. All
right, I've just resorted to adding him.
No,
Put me on that fucking list.
I guess that's the place it goes. Yeah. Well, in any case, it becomes. I don't really know what else to say in the sense that it's like, one thing that I feel like has always been a consistent, and this came up when, like, obviously, last week we first started talking about it, but like, we've been video games, and the bullshit surrounding it every once in a while gets pretty extreme when you're like, what the fuck's happening over with the fucking Hong Kong?
Did Activision just shoot a bunch of kids with
morphine?
What are you
doing over there? And then, like, you would like, that needs to be discussed. What the fuck is happening? That's insane. And it doesn't always land on your doorstep, but that type of thing is always worth acknowledging, and then it comes to a point where it's like, it is here on your doorstep, and it is absolutely the biggest thing in the world. And how insane, just picture how insane we would look being like, nope, just not going to talk about it.
Oh yeah, dude, that's what happened with COVID, which, by the way, I should worryingly explain, continues to exist.
Yes. But like, I'd like any, like, and for those who are kind of like, I just need a break from it, and this is what I tune in here for, I super understand, right? Because that is a very valid, like, like, mental health wise, I get that. I really do. But at the same time, the need for that break is not as insane as somehow pretending that that nothing's going on, and we're just gonna be like, hey, did you see what happened in the news with Sega Hatan Shiro's kid? Like, it would be psychotic. It would be fucking, like, I don't know. I just. And then going like, yeah, it would be disingenuous, I guess, is the way to put it. So, I understand that reason. I really do. It makes a lot of sense. It can be super overwhelming, and imagine how overwhelming it was for the disenfranchised, for us. But regardless of that, the point is that it would be psychotic. It would be psychotic.
Imagine how overwhelming all of this has been for Mike Z.
Yeah, well, hey man, listen, bad joke was bad. Didn't land.
I think the funniest thing about that joke is that he sets it up and then hesitates for about 5 seconds because he knows.
Yep.
He knows it's gonna be bad.
Yep. It's gonna land bad. And I can tell you, as someone as we have made bad jokes. We have made jokes that skirted and then get swerved into something. Like it's really just.
I've never made one bad joke in my life.
You've never made a bad joke in your life.
Not one single bad joke ever.
Well, as an expert in bad jokes and as an expert in like riding that line of discomfort, because what else are you gonna do, right? Either embrace the discomfort that is this fucked up existence that you happen to be in, or I don't know, do something else with it. But joke didn't land. And as Patrice O'Neill said, like bad jokes, good jokes, they all come from the same place. They just they get different results, So, yep, that was a botch. That was a botch on Mike C's behalf. Not much else to say.
I have one more thing to say, which is, as a guy who has been building up Skullgirls for forever, I think it is bordering on irresponsible of Mike Z to his team to be fucking swinging for the fences with this shit at this current time.
Playing it safe would have been the better choice by a landslide margin. And Skullgirls also is currently spotlighted in a number of ways. I mean, shit, it was on stream with Sharpie too. Like I just did the training lab episode with her, and we have like Skullgirls back in the spotlight with Evo going on and stuff. It was a bad swing, man. Not a great one. Totally. Yeah. Yep.
What a dumbass.
Bad joke. I think yeah, no, that's and there was definitely a moment like that followed that was like sort of the attempt to save it, and it was like, I don't think you're formulating this thought exactly. I don't think it sounds like you're trying to cover it. This isn't great, so then there was the actual post that came afterwards, but yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that post, but I can
there was a second clip that was just like the attempt to save it, and then
don't
wasn't good, and then there was the like I said, the post that came afterwards, and yeah, I mean, like Sonic Fox and everybody kind of like stepped in and he was called out about it and stuff, but yeah, just like read. It's not reading the room. It's like read the planet.
Read the world.
Planet. Read the planet.
Yeah, like
read the planet. You got to read the planet. Sometimes that's the way. That's
like, this is Gilbert Gottfried doing that fucking 9/11 joke like 3 days afterwards at a New York comedy club.
He did do that.
But it is as if the second plane had yet to hit when he told that joke. Like the George Floyd and etc. situation is ongoing.
Yeah, no,
it is not a footnote. It is not a historical document.
Yep. But again, as we sit here and have made distasteful and like skirting the line jokes, there cannot be an attitude of hypocrisy. It's very clearly like a bad decision to go down that road to swing the way like he went for it, while Skullgirls is on the up, and like protests are moving forward, and everything coalesces in such a way that it was like, it was just a bad joke. It was a bad swing. It was not a good idea. That's about as much as I can say. Not too sure how much further to go with it, but that's about it.
I don't know. I the last thing I think I said about this was like, man, what a dumbass. And that's my general statement on it. Yo, Mike Z's a dumbass.
Well, he made a fucking good ass game. He made a bad decision. Should have.
Oh, fighting game people. That's a little bit of that thuggery that we want to keep, but I guess sometimes we don't. If only Mike Z could have been more esports, this would have all been gone and solved.
I got nothing else. You said your piece. I said my piece. I feel like we're, that's what's up.
All right. I'm just waiting for you to move on.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of came up in the middle of talking about, the Call of Duty stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, so I guess I'm done with my week then. If you want to check out streams this week, it'll be twitch.tv/PatStaresAt. On Thursday, we're going to be taking a look at that Sony thing. Assuming another worldwide disaster does not occur. It might. Mount Fuji could just fucking explode and have a bunch of fucking bees fly out of it.
There was a post of a video with something that was like a light that was spinning in a circle in the sky. And someone was just like, 2020 is loading the next events for July.
Oh, I don't want that.
The July 2020 events are currently loading.
Did you see that article that was a guy screaming, "Not now," of ancient village frozen in time?
Yes, I did see that.
It's the fucking ancient village frozen in time is resurfacing, and you could visit. It's like, no, not now. Not now, Ghost Village.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need that right now, please.
But don't we? Don't we though? What better time? Yeah.
What better place than here?
What better time than now, dude? So I didn't see it, but I heard about. There's a picture of a kid who. It's like a kid sitting at a desk with his hands on his head, just like, and the text says, "Children from the far future trying to remember what happened in 2020 on the test."
Oh. That's upsetting.
Poor kids of 2120.
Well, what we did is we attacked and dethroned God.
We did. Now, everyone can get on board with that.
JRPGs have taught us how to do it.
We've been preparing our whole lives. Fuck, I had an old t-shirt that was about that. I have a show that's about that. I've built a brand on attacking and dethroning God.
How's the progress?
Baby steps.
All right. It's a big job.
Baby steps. But anyway, as far as it goes for me, I guess, the first thing that comes to mind is Doom Eternal.
Is fixed. Actually.
Playing on PS4.
Yeah.
But
you still fighting that login every time?
Playing offline, and you know what happens? So turns out there is a very clear punishment that I am facing. Besides playing what appears to be like the launch version of the game, so there's stuff that got patched out I'm playing that people are like, oh my god, I thought that got patched out, and it's like, well, I'm playing the initial version. Every time I buy a skin, I can't fucking use it because you have to be signed in to use your skin.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Yep. So you can use the batteries to unlock abilities to help you, or to unlock skins, and I've bought 3 skins now, and I can't use any of them. You're not allowed. So there you go. That's what I get. That's my punishment.
That sucks, dude.
Yep. Just log in, you grump. No, fuck off. I'm not doing it. Too bad. We're too late at this point. I ain't doing it. I have no interest. I'm about to beat it, and then I'm out. We're good. I ain't making shit. Go fuck yourself. We are, I entered Urdak, and it is beautiful. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Love the aesthetic. Love what's happening architecturally. Love the I go on a like, I just talk about it a lot while we're playing, but like I really like the art happening with that area and with the actual, you know, the machine that you know you are raised from. So fucking that lore, I was not expecting the lore to go this hard. They're giving you a lot of backstory, and they're giving you like more elaborate, I guess it's okay. The expectations you have given Doom 2016 are Doom guy pushes the story out of the way to get to killing the demons. Right?
Yeah.
And as you go, you get a little bit more of it, but for the most part, Doom guy says, fuck off, I'm here to rip and tear. And
That's
then
right.
that eventually does start to give way, but you still end up, like, for the most part, getting Sam explaining shit or Vega talking to you about stuff, and there's little lore drops, and you go and you can go read them optionally. But the in-game stuff was always the idea that you're like, hey, we're just fucking moving, I don't give a fuck. And now it's like we're going the complete opposite direction with it. We're overwhelming you with backstory and giving you the exact, like, almost year by year breakdown of what happened at the end of Doom 64, you know? And it's fucking fascinating. It's really interesting. It's like, okay, all right, so, you know, you can ignore this too. You do have to pause the screen to go to the codex and read it, but if you choose to not push the story out of the way like the Slayer does and actually read it, it's like, oh fuck, okay, this is a breakdown of the mechanics of heaven and hell and earth and earth-like realms, and you just kind of you get more than you expected, you know?
I would absolutely say that it is almost a theme of Doom Eternal that I got way more than I expected. I remember somebody pointed out to me when I was streaming it that there's a button you can hit that I didn't realize when you're reading those codec entries, and I had missed all the big pieces of art that were associated with them.
The art button, yeah,
and it's like, oh, here's a piece of art of a 9-foot tall robot man with an energy sword talking to the United Nations.
Yeah, here's the Earth army with their mecha and super soldiers fighting against the demons with the big tall robot man with the sword at the helm, you know? Indeed, some of that shit was really, really cool. Yeah, you don't want to miss some of those.
Yeah, that game's incredible.
So far, so good. Mastery tokens are a beautiful thing.
Are they great? Because some of those challenges are really, really annoying.
I'm just like, yeah, no, fuck that. I don't want that. I'm not interested. I got what I need here. Let's do it. And they start getting really generous with them in the last part and towards the later half of the game.
I want to say, like, there's a mission. It might be the one either before Urdak,
right
or
before,
the one after
right. The one
like 6.
Yes, to Necroval is like there's like 3 in the same mission or so, and I was just like, oh fuck yeah, absolutely. Let me just pop, tap those things that I'm not interested in. So very, very cool about all that. And yeah, like there is a really nice balance between your mobility, your options at all times, and like you getting overwhelmed with the later demons that are now like modifiers to the room. So the Archvile is
the worst.
Like, what a fucking twist, where it's like, okay, you are now a modifier to this room, you know?
Oh, are you not familiar with Archvile?
No.
Okay, because he's always been the worst.
So, pre 2016, you mean?
He dates back to Doom 2.
Okay.
And oh my god, fuck him. He's number one to go every time.
Same ability.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So that was like, what the fuck? You gotta go. The priority list is, there's always something moving up, you know. And then at first we were talking about Sneck. You know, Sneck was like, okay, you gotta go. And then eventually it was like, okay, no, wait, hold on. Here comes the hunter, right? And you're like, okay, no, wait, hold on. Here comes the Marauder. Yeah, the Marauder is, as you can imagine, like the most satisfying fight, it feels like.
A lot of people hate Marauder.
I think it's a very cool encounter.
Because he acts like a wall inside the combat puzzle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people really don't like that they have to stop and deal with him.
No,
I personally didn't mind.
I enjoy it, but he wrecked my shit. He wrecked my shit many times, and I'm still getting the flow. But I found it like a sort of a nice strategy out, which turns out is an optimal strategy that people have been using. But like, I organically, almost accidentally, went like super shotgun switch ballista, and
that's the one.
And it was like, oh fuck, okay, this is the containment combo. And I mean, yeah, I love the 1-on-1 that he forces. I really think it's super cool. And then 2-on-1 if you fuck up.
There's when you beat the game, you get a master level, right, or a couple of those, and it was the source of one of my favorite new memes that seemed to have gone away, which was just a screenshot of 3 Marauders standing in a stage right next to each other. And the meme is, there is no meme here, die.
Yeah. So that's I mean, again, I'm waiting to see. I have yet to encounter, but I called out, I was like, oh my god, when this game decides to say fuck you, there is a very easy way for them to do it. And I'm like, yep, just put another one right there and go, all right, solve this, fuckface. But man, just hooking and air dashing sideways and slowing down Chrono Strike, and then I made a control change that really helped me out too last time. Is I was struggling the most with grenade switching.
Yeah.
And I now put grenade switching on L3. And
okay.
That,
what does that do normally?
Nothing.
Oh, well then the problem solved.
Yeah, originally it was D-pad left. So it was like I would have to break the flow to let go of my movement to address it, and I kind of was like, no, this is no good. So I switched it over, and then it started working a lot better, you know. Yeah. So that's great. And like, yeah, the last thing I got introduced to was the drone, the Urdak drone, or Maker drone rather. But yeah, you get to see one of them earlier in the purple rooms, you know.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, okay, they're just kind of like, you know, tough fucking things, but like the idea of them being just like, this is a floating headshot challenge is like, oh, that's great. This is
and you better get it, because boy, do you get a lot of resources when you pop them.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like that a lot as a mixture into the combat cycle, as you said, into the room, you know. So yeah, man, Doom Eternal continues to fucking rip it, as it were.
I'm glad to say that yes, the recent patch has totally removed that stupid shit, the anti-cheat on the PC, and fixed the performance issues. So hooray! I've reinstalled it.
The Unmaker is cool, and that's a fun reference to the past. But why would you want to aim?
It's legitimately worse than the BFG in every way, and I don't understand.
Why would you want to aim when you could choose to just not aim?
So the BFG projectile actually does damage by itself, and you find that out during the final boss, because boy, does it do a shit ton of damage. But like, I fought the final boss using both, and the fucking BFG just does way more damage. It's just better.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, like, I tried it out, and as soon as I tested it and noticed that, like, you kind of, like, have to spread for, like, crowd control in a way, I was like, okay, this is going to use the same ammo that I could use to crowd annihilate. So I was just kind of like, yeah, no, this seems like a better solution for fuck this room right now, you know?
Yeah.
Perhaps it would be better, perhaps the Unmaker's better for concentrated fire? Maybe.
But I found that even, so people are in a chat are saying that Unmaker does more damage if you fire it at one target. The difference is that when I fire off the BFG, I don't have to stand there getting shot by everything. I can just move away while the fucking BFG thing just kills everything.
So I noticed I was making a mistake in a couple of rooms that were really hard. There's one of the Archvile rooms in Necroval is one where I was like, okay, let me just fucking machine turret it up and just like melt this fucker. And while that works, it requires you to sit there like Bastion, you know? And I'm like, this isn't gonna work. I gotta switch over to rockets, because rockets you lock on, fire, and then get the fuck out, you know? So yeah, your ability to deal damage while still moving is way better than sustain damage over time while you're stuck in place, you know? But yeah, fucking great. And then, you know, I've been, I suppose, like, you know, waiting for the right, I guess I was just thinking about maybe like wrapping it up before getting into it, but KOTOR 2 is fucking popping off.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It is popping off, man. Holy shit. Oh. Yeah, I'm now like firmly feeling the like, oh my god, the best stuff is not canon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's so tragic. You know, the best stuff. People like you created a world and a franchise that like was blessed by some awesome creative work that came out of people that weren't you, and just, you know, due to the business shuffle and the handing off and the one and the other, like, it is not canon. And it's like, this is insane if you just go on quality, because like fuck off, this should be the main thing. And then, you know, you're like, oh yeah, remember the movie? Oh yeah, hey, that happened at some point. It's crazy how it's really touching on a lot of things that I was interested in hearing about, and you know, I don't want to say too much until, like, you know, it's officially on Spoilercast, but yeah, just I think the fact that this game was made in 14 fucking months,
and LucasArts stopped them from finishing it,
and that it was, yeah, and it was built on the bones of the first game. um, it is a miracle how like the restored content pulls enough out to like keep that awesome fucking vision intact, because it could have so easily have been not there. And characters like Kreia are so interesting to discuss and look at, and they contribute so much to the like, you know, the discussion about the Force in Star Wars and light side and dark side. And it feels like you know, like as like, why wouldn't anyone in charge of this fucking exalt that? You know, why wouldn't you point at that and be like, yeah, this thing, look how good, like you happen to have it. You happen to have access to some of the best material in your entire IP over here. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts.
I always got the feeling that LucasArts was really obsessive about the release dates of their projects that weren't being made directly by them, because the way they treated those people, it's fucking outrageous. Where Obsidian was like, no, dude, we'll totally patch it. You don't even have to pay us. And they were like barred from working on the game. It's fucking baffling. But the way that BioWare always treated that game always felt like they were jealous. Similar to the way that Bethesda treats New Vegas. And that is to alternatively pretend that that shit didn't happen, or take elements from it and kind of ruin them. Like, it just sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah. And you know, it's the type of thing where I would like to, like, the only kind of hope you can have is every once in a while you kind of hear about like, oh yeah, some grumpy old fart at a company that was responsible for being terrible is now gone, and someone else is stepping in, and they're like, hey, let's do more, let's do this and let's do that. Like, you know, it doesn't seem like it anytime soon, but there might be a point in time where Disney's like, hey, maybe something from this world can be, you know, used, and or we can bring this back in some way that is just like, hey, let's port this forward, or whatever the case is. Disney can do something to bring KOTOR 1 and 2 back in a good way. Maybe not. Well, not in the something not in the near future, I feel, but at some point it might be like, well, we've done a lot now. We have 2 new trilogies that are under the Disney name, and we've made a bunch of games, and we're doing stuff, and not all of it really hit. Some of it was okay, but people really like that old thing. You know, there might be a point.
They don't even know what that old thing is.
Well, anyway, I think the fact that, like, you know, there's a clear like group of people that want enough they want KOTOR to exist enough that like there was a weird side Revan reference to something or whatever. Like the fact that they even bothered with that is like, okay, when someone else is making the decisions here, or if people.
Okay, hold on a second, Wooly. Hard drive needs to go fuck itself. 13 minutes ago, Casey Hudson visits terminally ill teen to tell him in person there will be no KOTOR 3.
13 minutes ago.
They need to stop that.
13 minutes ago.
That's right. It's not that long of an article. You could have written it in 10 minutes if you were a good writer.
I swear to God.
That's bullshit.
I swear to God. What do you want? Is this our league? Are we being held at ransom?
I feel like you're being fucking gaslit
I
bad.
don't know. I don't know what more they want. Maybe it's just this. Maybe this right now is what they want. But I don't know. I mean, there's a like okay, Avatar is currently back in the psyche because of it being back on Netflix. So the landlord not bending Earth is sure, you know, totally. And there's other stuff like okay, hey, they're making hard drives Traders of America list from a day ago. I mean, that's currently everybody's up to date on what's going on there. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. What was it? There was something that was like a topic that just hit from like the last week or so where it just happened again.
Yeah.
I don't
Over and over.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. And it's not the Simpsons effect of like you throw so much out there that it's gonna have to hit it. It's gonna be accurate eventually. This might be like I don't know. I'm like are you pointing a gun at like, you know, my head? Like what is it? What is the ransom here? There was also a Flork of Crows comic about being a dickless robot and a person in the future.
Yeah, that was also suspicious. Well, are we the nexus of the internet?
I mean, no, but I think there's times when I'm like, I'm gonna squint at that and be like, were you listening this week?
Wooly, are we the most important people that have ever existed?
Again, no, but I'm gonna squint my eyes sometimes. I'm gonna squint my eyes.
We are the most important people that have ever existed.
Flork
and
of cows.
I have never told
me.
one bad joke.
Flork of cows. Dude, there's a robot dude. He's got no limbs and he's got no dick, and it's the exact descriptor. Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's hard to say. Just how about this? If you're out there and you're making something hilarious that everybody enjoys and is partaking, but you are in some way influenced by the bullshit that we splatter out every week over here, give us a little secret signal. Like, you know, just use some kind of obscure emoji somewhere so we can be like, give us a little wink. Because I don't know.
Put out an article about how Sei is way hotter than Makoto. Then we'll know.
Hold on.
We'll know.
Let me see here. Like, use some kind of, like, I'm looking for the, what do we got here? There's a toilet. Use the toilet emoji somewhere in your socials to let us know that this is where it's coming from, because it's hard to say, and you don't want to be that asshole that's like, hey, you took that was, you know, like, are we on the same comedic thread here or what is happening? I don't know, but people send a lot of shit sometimes and you just go but then you're also like, if it's like, no dude, that's not at all where it came from, then you're like, oh, I was an idiot who was thinking, you know, there was more there were more people listening than there actually were. So yeah, anyway, just give us the wink, let us know.
Are they gonna try and steal our skin?
I mean, wasn't that like wasn't that guy who was like too good to play with his friends but too bad to enter competitive? No, there was another. No, yeah, I think it was that one or another one about a podcast or something, and like the guy's initials were PB.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Pulling up.
It was the hard drive. I feel like hard drive is stalking me article. His initials are PB. Yeah.
Pulling up the
incredibly suspicious
magnifying glass and 13 fucking minutes ago. Well, anyway. All right. Well, that interrupted the discussion. KOTOR 2 is amazing.
It's incredible.
Shit popped off, and I'm fucking
Hey, and
loving
once
it.
you beat it, you should go and check out how fucked up the ending of that game is without any of the restored content.
Gonna do that. Gonna go see all the characters we didn't get to hang out with because of the choice to go as a guy, and gonna check out the SWTOR cutscenes and trailer stuff that connects as well. So, yep. That is all. Check outable. I'm gonna throw that word out there. At Wooly Versus on YouTube, also on Twitch when you can check us out, just live streaming the LPs, and like I mentioned, I also was invited to participate in the Inside Gaming podcast, which I did an episode of that went out I think 2 days ago, and there was also a revisit to Smash with some of the Rooster Teeth folks, but I was thoroughly smoked by Shofu, and it was what it was, but it was a good time. So all that you can check out as well, and Woolly Wools on Twitter.
All right, let's get on to some news, but first,
quick word from our sponsors.
Let's do that.
This week, Castle Super Beast is sponsored by DoorDash.
Dude, I'm hungry right now.
Well, right now is perfect because, well, no, it's not, because I don't want you chewing on the podcast, you fucking heathen.
Munch.
You absolute godless barbarian. But,
hey, man.
But, when you're not on a podcast live recording, you can get DoorDash to deliver food straight to your door, fast, whatever you want, whatever you're craving, whatever you're in the mood for, whatever flavor, whatever mouth pleasure you are seeking.
Okay, that last part isn't 100% accurate.
Foods are mouth pleasure, and
yeah, but you can't get every mouth pleasure from this service.
You can get a lot. Especially anything that's nearby around all your favorite
Food-based,
restaurants.
especially.
Excuse me?
Food-based.
Always food-based.
Yes.
All your favorite restaurants around you, you can check them out and order and have the food brought right to you, which is convenient and perfect at this point in time. Chinese food, pizza, froyo, whatever it is. And of course, you can. Yes, you can. There's some restaurants where the actual dining room is closed, but you can continue to support them by ordering delivery through DoorDash. So, ordering is easy. You just open up the DoorDash app, choose what you want to eat. Your food will be left safely outside your door with the new contactless delivery drop-off setting. That's over 300,000 partners in the U.S., Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia. Support your local go-tos. Choose from your favorite restaurants. You know the deal. We talked about it. Chipotle, Wendy's, and the Cheesecake Factory are on that list. God damn it.
That's assuming no one
So
took
delicious.
all the cheesecakes.
So good. And yeah, all you got to do is right now, you can get $5 off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code CASTLE. That's $5 off and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code CASTLE. Don't forget code CASTLE for $5 off your first order with DoorDash.
Thank you, DoorDash.
Thank you. This week, Castle Super Beast, sponsored by Sunbasket.
Hey, Sunbasket, what up?
Tell you what up. If you're looking to cook delicious meals, and you don't want to deal with the grocery store and perhaps what they do have, what they don't have, what's in line, what's
for real. We ordered like a bunch of orders from like Walmart, and like half our order never showed up over and over and over, which made making actual recipes like a massive pain in the ass.
There you go, right? So that's exactly what you don't want to happen. And you can completely avoid the nightmare of what you're looking for not being there, or of, you know, going and dealing with whatever's happening down there with Sunbasket. Sunbasket delivers healthy, delicious meals straight to your door. And there's recipes for all kinds of dietary preferences, including paleo, gluten-free, Mediterranean, vegetarian, and more. Everything's easy and convenient with pre-portioned and ready to prep and cook ingredients. You can enjoy a full dinner of organic produce, clean ingredients in as little as 15 minutes, no matter how much experience you have in the kitchen. And each week, Sunbasket offers a wide range of recipes to choose from. You can try tons of choices from mouth-watering dishes such as hoisin steak strip lettuce cups with pickled daikon and carrots. Your mouth doesn't even know what to do with those flavors.
You chew it.
Roasted salmon with miso glazed eggplant, or black bean tostadas Diablo with cabbage, slaw, and guacamole. So we're talking about elaborate tasting meals here with minimal experience. You can do it too. You can order from any recipes across the menu, skip a week whenever you need to, or double up on your favorite recipes. Simple and easy with no gotchas. And Sunbasket facilities have the highest levels of food and employee safety. They're reinforcing strict adherence to their existing standard and operating procedures, increasing sanitization and frequency of their distribution centers in order to protect you and your family. So right now, Sunbasket is offering $35 off your order when you go to sunbasket.com/superbeast and enter code superbeast at checkout. That's sunbasket.com/SUPERBEAST and enter promo code superbeast at checkout for $35 off your order. Sunbasket.com/superbeast and enter promo code superbeast. Thank you, Sunbasket.
Thanks, Sunbasket.
News.
Hey, what do we got in the news this week? News. Hey,
we've got no old school hip hop, no anime openers, no K-pop. None of that.
Twitch, what the fuck?
You know what the fuck. It was just a matter of time.
No, that's not the part that I'm what the fuck at. So it is absolutely just a matter of time that Twitch got like threatened with some kind of bullshit lawsuit or DMCA claim.
Yeah, the music guidelines stuff, like the fact that it didn't crack down harder sooner was surprising to me. I was quite shocked that it took this long for this to happen. But Twitch
so that
just
was absolutely inevitable.
A
I
massive.
Agree. That's not what I'm saying. What the fuck as? What I'm saying. What the fuck at is that clips have, what?
Trying to just tell people what the story is. Give it a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just yell at me to shut up.
All right, shut up. Twitch changed their music guidelines, and now they have stricter rules about what music you can share and what you can play during a stream, and you can get copyright claims the same way that YouTube can. All right, go ahead.
So that was inevitable. I completely agree with you. What was not inevitable is that clips that are really old, like 3 years old, could have that happen to them, but the Twitch backend doesn't allow you to even delete those clips.
Doesn't it allow you to clear out clips that are made by you and by others? I know the clips.
Yes, but if you have tens of thousands of clips, the backend literally can't scroll back that far.
Oh, fuck off. Ooh.
So there are people getting copyright notices that are like saying, hey, you have to delete all your clips from this and this stream, and they're like, I can't access it.
Okay, that is a humongous problem. Yeah, that's a technical fail that needs to be addressed. Absolutely. I didn't catch that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's super stupid.
And
because I think a lot of people would respond in the same way as YouTube, where they just be like, okay, fine, clear the clip.
Yeah, there's no mass delete option at all. Like if I got hit with this copyright bullshit and I was like, oh, I used to play music all the time, I would just literally hit a delete every clip ever, delete every VOD ever button. I would just do it. I don't care, right? But there isn't one.
So VODs and highlights are already subject to the mute system, which will kick in automatically as soon as it goes into the archive. So, like, for the most part, full recordings of streams don't need to worry about it. But clips that people make live in the moment are not being processed through that because they're being, like, cut straight from the live feed. So, yeah, that makes total sense that they would have circumvented the muting process. But now, if you're introducing this, you can't just do it and give people no way of fixing this. I want to think, like, hopefully this will be one of those stories where as we report it, by the time you're listening to this in its MP3 form on Tuesday morning, Twitch is like, hey, we made it so that you can instantly clear out all your clips and or go scroll back to the ones that are lost from years ago.
So Twitch took like a full day. They put out a fucking statement at like midnight of the day that this popped off. They did it at midnight of last night. And we're like, we're working on the back end.
Because that's but that's a technical
obvious
fix that you can just address. It is not a policy change you need to roll out.
Yeah. It's literally like, guys, if you're going to fuck us like this, we need to have a way to get the dick out. You know?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say that they had no idea that problem existed until this rolled out.
Oh, they did, because they updated it last year, and that's when I changed all the music on my channel in prep for this.
Okay, well, what the fuck?
Yep. What the fuck?
Okay, well...
When you guys up, what are you doing?
Yeah, all right.
Fucking morons.
Well, in any case,
I'm glad that the fucking nightmare that is the YouTube DMCA shit had followed me here as well. How fun.
Time to go to Mixer.
You're gonna take Mixer. That's a good one.
Well, anyway. Just that Goodfellas laugh gif.
Oh yeah, Ray Liotta just loses shit.
Yeah, I squinted. So yeah, Twitch is rolling that out, and there's a big to-do that you need to be aware of. You can get your shit struck, and be aware of that.
Stricken.
And in the meantime, go through your playlist and make sure that you fucking remove anything that'll cause a problem.
Now, I will say, I am torn on this, but probably that's because I came from YouTube, as it were, right? On the one hand, oh man, the DMCA is so fucking stupid and draconian and awful, and Twitch really horribly fucked this up, and we should really be able to fucking have the UI for this. Just literally do it. And at the same time, I am just torn with the fucking feeling of... So apparently it was like a bunch of Ariana Grande clips that really got it hit real hard, right? That was the one that really showed up, in some old school hip hop as well. And all I can think of is like, what are you people, fucking stupid? You playing fucking album music over your Twitch streams?
Yeah. Well,
what are you, a fucking moron?
Yeah.
Of course that's gonna happen.
Back in the day, we played it really, really careful in a lot of cases, and every once in a while you'd go for something balls out and hope that it was okay. But every time we'd play a game that was like EA, where they put fucking just real music in the thing, it was like, okay, well, fuck this game. Fuck whatever, WWE 2K, thing, or EA Tracks, or whatever the case is, you know, living the dream, like all that shit. You're just like, yeah, this is asking for an absolute nightmare of copyright strikes.
I still remember vividly me and Matt getting into like a long-term argument with the guy over at Machinima because we had a situation where we were playing Saints Row the Third and we had like some banging killer jokes during the bit where you're skydiving onto the fucking roof of a pool party. Except fucking Kanye West's Power, is playing the whole fucking time. And the guy from Machinima was like, we're not putting that in a fucking video. Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what is in the game? And he's like, no one cares.
Doesn't matter. They'd sooner have you go to the options and have the turn the fucking music off button. Stream mode, you know?
I don't think it was in that game, so we just had to cut the whole thing. It sucked. The music industry is still fucking awful. We should kill music.
Well, you've felt that way before this anyway. This changes nothing.
We should kill music.
You've been waiting to say this. This is not a catalyst for you. It is just a pre-existing condition.
You're right.
Ultra David had a nice tweet. He said, copyright cops have come to Twitch, one of the biggest infringement machines of the last decade, which built its popularity on a total disregard for rights holders in games, emotes, music, and more. Ah, well, so it is for mainstream culture, which Twitch definitely has become. It's no exaggeration to say that esports exists solely because of copyright infringement. Sure, nowadays rights holders have swooped in and built businesses in it, and we played games in public events and uploaded streamed footage, etc. entirely without approval early on. But again and again, pre- and post-internet, people have invented amazing novel technologies, musical genres, forms of entertainment, etc. that depend on infringement. And again, rights holders eventually swoop in and either kill them or worsen, slow them down substantially. So we need a major overhaul of copyright law and minor overhaul of trademark.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
And he would know because he's a lawyer. Forever. So, yeah, it's like, it's true, man. You know, like there's very clear, like, new medium. There's a threshold you hit of popularity when the industry then takes notice of you at some point. And for anyone who was like, and they'll always be slow to notice where people are going and what they're doing. So expect there to be a timer on every platform. I mean,
make sure to build it up so it's a real industry.
So
before they come get you.
Here's the thing. It's kind of crazy that Twitch does not have like wanton copyright strikes going on, but it does have it in its system. There are posts that get pulled, but it's super rare. But it does exist. We've seen it.
So I was thinking about this earlier. Like, hey, what's up with that? Why is it so uncommon on Twitch, where it is a rampant shit fuck thing on YouTube that is just the worst? And the answer, I believe, is actually pretty simple. And that is the vast majority of cash-all monies that come in through YouTube are coming in through ad revenue, which when you file a DMCA claim, either goes straight to you or gets held until the claim gets figured out.
Yeah, the
whatever.
escrow. Yeah.
The vast majority of Twitch bucks is bits, subs, and donations, of which, DMCA claim or not, no external company is getting their hands on without a real lawsuit. Right? So the incentive to actually do that shit is so much less. It's not people creating an entire cottage industry to steal people's YouTube dollars, right? It's asshole music companies going, I heard 10 seconds of that club hit. We own that. Fuck them.
Now, there are ads on Twitch that they can use to show you, like, okay, well, this is the exact amount that this ad made for this moment.
Sure.
whatever
It's
the
like
fuck, right?
12 cents.
But you have to assume the shittiest, scummiest, most garbage point of a path that is going to be taken. And in this case, what I would then imagine is, well, okay, how much money did that stream make? How many subs are there? How many bits were bought? Who resubbed? Who donated? What's going on? What's the income here? How do we get our cut straight from that person's mouth? Right? Like, that's the thought that these companies are going to take, is if the income is not coming from ads on YouTube, then it would come directly from the one-to-one viewer supporting streamer exchange. They would be like, how can we get in between this? I guarantee you the discussion has already been had.
Yeah, except I bet there's a real problem there, and that like all that stuff is like viewed as like essentially tips, which is like a charitable donation, which is like a whole fucking thing legally. I mean, it's a different thing than just I'm paying you for service.
It does not stop them from trying to wet their beaks.
You're right.
Like so many nickels and dimes. So assume, you know? Don't be scared, just be prepared for the worst.
I fucking hate this bullshit. It's so fucking stupid and crooked. Just let me steal all your music.
You know, I always for a while have been operating with a like, there's a margin of like, oh man, it would be cool to use this, but it's probably going to be an issue. In my head, it's always been like, okay, what do you got access to? And this applies to music I use on the outro of the fucking podcast, you know, as well, where it's like, generally speaking, video games are cool. Generally speaking,
yeah.
Generally speaking, video game music, you're cool. Generally speaking, if the video game has licensed music, no.
Probably not.
But you can catch yourself like, you can catch yourself a nice Mario Paint remix if you need to. You know,
that's like distinct enough.
There's, you know what I mean, or like a chiptune version of something in any case. But yeah, it is a fine rope, you know, to walk. And I feel like what was it? Nier Automata had that one music video in the game that just annihilated every single person that was playing it. That was just like, oh God, no, why would you do that? You know, like I wish that we didn't have things where like, it's like, oh yeah, no, this is baked in copyright problems from here on out, no matter who you are, no matter what's happening, you know. That sucks when it's like, it's not even an additional thing that you can control from your stream presentations end, but it's just literally the content, you know. But anyway, yeah, it'll get worse before it gets better, no question. So that happens.
Thanks, Lars. Fucking Lars. It's all his fault.
Well, just I brought it up last time, but just never forget, like, they were told, hey, do you want to sell out and do this commercial? And they're like, no. And they're like, well, if you don't, take the money that we're giving you, which is a lot of money. We'll just take this money, which is a lot of money, and just get someone who sounds exactly like you, and then they'll do it. So do you want to sell out? And they were like, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, honey. Hey, you hear about Capcom Vancouver?
I did not.
So,
what up about Capcom Vancouver?
There was a video that was released by Game History Secrets, which is it's a Liam Robertson show, who was also behind um, um, uh, working with Did You Know? But this was a video basically that breaks down the history of Capcom Vancouver and some of their projects that never got off the ground. And
am I about to be super depressed?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, fucking sick.
So there was a list of canceled games and rejected pitches that they were working on in 2017. And, we heard about the weird Puzzle Fighter reboot that looked terrible. And we remember they made Dead Rising 2 off the record. So this video goes into some of the other things that leaked out that we never quite knew up until now. 3 projects in particular were large scale. A new IP that was codenamed Brazil, which was a sci-fi shooter with an emphasis on resource management and survival, said to be slow-paced in some ways that we've seen through Dead Rising. But yeah, that was, that's all the details they
great.
have. The other one was a large project called New Frontier, a sci-fi game, apparently compared to being Destiny before Destiny, with themes of space exploration and ancient alien technology are the main things. A third project that was greenlit was pre-production on a paranormal shooter set in 1970s America based on ghosts and goblins.
Oh, man.
The story centered around a woman protagonist who was a cop finding herself in the middle of a battle between humans and paranormal creatures. What?
That sounds like the weirdest shit in the world.
Super weird, right? Like a modern, like 70s, not modern, but like a 70s cop tale where like this is a world where Arthur has a statue and like, in the main plaza downtown. Like what? Like I have no idea, but based on ghosts and goblins apparently, and there was other pitches, including one for Dino Crisis,
of course,
that never made it. An action spin-off of Resident Evil, a side-scrolling Mega Man game, and a possible Onimusha title, but the pitches all failed.
Every game that studio ever made after Dead Rising 2 was worse than the one they made before it. It's a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff that happened at Capcom Vancouver. But there was these are the types of stories where I'm like, oh my god, Capcom was gonna do what? Dear God, I would kill for like a fat 300-page art book of Capcom projects that never fucking came out.
Oh, you need more than 300 fucking pages.
Oh my god, I would go in so hard. I would go, like, honestly, it's just like, guys, like, make the Kickstarter. I don't care. Like, Capcom yourself, make a Kickstarter and go, hey, you want to see what we used to make? We'll print it and send you a book about it. I will go in for so much.
Oh, they never do that because somebody puts it in a drawer and says, we might use it one day, though.
Right, there's always that. But it's also, like, if you just want to embrace that feeling of, like, soul death that comes with, oh, that would have been so good, though. Or, oh my god, that would have been terrible. Like, the ride from page to page would be so exciting. Like, I get that way when I look at rejected character designs for fucking Street Fighter. I get that way when I see prototype Virgil with long hair and
oh Jesus, that thing's terrible.
And I'm like, oh yeah, but it's like I like seeing the near hits and misses and what could have been. It's such an exciting trip for the things we know, and I really, really, really want there to be some kind of gathering of these things for the Capcom franchises, especially, man.
I'm sure there is internally.
Of course. You know, and then you could maybe, like, God, you like being able to just sit down and ask somebody about King Cobra, you know?
Hey, man, tell me about King Cobra. No? Oh, okay.
Well, maybe like when we are as far from King Cobra as King Cobra was from the Baz.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe when this shit is like many moons ago, you can get.
Well, the
like,
reality, the unfortunate reality that it is every now and then, you or I or whoever else can get a hold of somebody and be like, "Hey, dude, what's the deal with King Cobra?" But the problem is that always comes with the caveat of the person talking to you goes, "But shut the fuck up, though, right?"
Yeah, Pat. The only reason why I'm talking about this as a book is so that I can talk about it in a public manner.
Yeah, I know. I know. Like, I assume you just already know about King Cobra.
Half the shit that I can't talk about that shit, obviously. I want to have it out there so we can discuss it. And I can be like, guys, look at this shit.
Guys, look at it.
But I can't talk about anything, obviously.
Be surprised.
Duh. That goes without saying. Although I'm glad you said it. It's like,
I'm really surprised
you know,
at all this news. Like I've the longer I've worked in this business, the more enjoyable I find the fucking process of pretending to be surprised about announcements that I'm not surprised about at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's a crazy one.
Oh, there it is.
That one
there. That's the, for me. That's the sentence. It's there it is. Yeah, it's like there it is, as in like that thing that you knew. I mean, no, the thing I was expecting.
No, I expected it. It was that'd be I know what I was saying to all of you. I said it would be a really cool thing if they did this. Whoa, how wouldn't that be rad, everyone?
Yeah.
If that happened, just saying.
Yeah. No, there is a fun circle of a Venn diagram that you get when you used to work in the industry and now are like internet presence person, influence, whatever, and that little overlap. You know, there's some discussions that you can fucking be a fly on the wall to that are just like, what the fuck? But
what do you guys do?
Anyway,
this, please.
And it's just like, hey, I hope that can be discussed someday. You know, it'd be great.
One day.
Hey, you know what? To be fair, a lot has come back around on the docket in the form of like leaks that hit years later.
That's true.
You know, there's stuff where it's like you're like, stifle, and then a couple years later, hey, look at that, some site wrote something about something.
Canceled game that was just, oh my god, that would have been so cool.
So you know that does happen from time to time.
Yeah, from time to time. I can't believe they would have canceled that. That seems like a good game to play.
Or from time to time.
I sure wish I heard about it before it was canceled and then got to silently miserate over its canceling when I can't talk to anybody about it. That'd be great. That is the actual worst.
What?
Like, you get excited for a game that's not announced yet, and then it gets canceled before it's ever announced, and you can't even share your misery of it.
You just gotta hold it in.
Just hold it in forever.
Just hold it in. Yep. So if you want to talk about things that pop back up from the past, apparently THQ Nordic and Kaiko have announced Kingdoms of Amalur: The Re-Reckoning coming out for current gen and PC.
Okay. That game was fine.
Now, this was a game that I got to sit and test, and I remember being shocked by the competency of the combat engine.
Yeah.
The fantasy world was pretty like, okay, you're trying to wow, you know,
they really were.
They're trying to wow it,
Really
and
were.
they didn't convince anybody that they weren't. And
They didn't try either.
You know, but there was an upgrade skill tree that unlocked combat abilities, and when you built into it, and you could quick switch between 2 weapons at a time, and you kind of like leveled them all up, you could do like some advanced shit.
Yeah, it was great.
I remember learning how to do juggles with the with the crossbow, and then switching over to, you know, like other weapons and trying to mix it up and stuff. Like, surprisingly competent combat engine in that game. A lot of fun with that, you know. Can't remember a damn thing else about it, but
the RPG elements were really bad and half-baked.
Yeah, I like, honestly, I remember like because I didn't have to do I had to do both functional and compliance testing on it, so I was doing like, you know, gameplay route stuff, and yeah, there was a bunch of things where, you know, I kind of just remember being like, okay, like, just fucking, you know, run from this end of the map to that end of the map, drop off this many BAF modads, collect this much gold, you know, just fucking zip zap zoop around the thing.
Now, people are asking, isn't this the game that bankrupted noted piece of shit Kurt Schilling? No. They were working on a MMO in the same setting.
Mm-hmm.
This was made by a different team.
Mm-hmm. There was a giant project, which... Speak of the fucking devil, huh? How about that? Do you remember the conversation about it?
Which one? Where there were many?
It's been so long at this point, and I don't even remember the details. But I read the document about that MMO.
Oh, yeah.
We had access to it, and I remember reading about what it was going to be and everything.
It was gonna be great.
I remember at the time when I was playing the game and then like reading through some of the ideas, it was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, you're gonna do this and build that and da-da-da-da. They're gonna like because like the map was kind of it was a like a they were gonna gold and silver the map.
Okay.
You know, into the MMO, and there's a lot of other details that I fucking forget right now. And at the time, I remember being like, you know, don't tell anybody, but this is what they want to do. And then like,
this game's never gonna come out.
Yeah, that shit fucking shut down, and now it's gone. So I don't remember any of those details. But at the time, it was kind of an interesting thing. But yes, that was actually what hurt the pocketbook of I think it was 34 Studios.
Yeah. And then Kurt Schilling decided to, you know, fuck everybody over at his company and then run away to do a baseball announcing career as a backup. And he ended up going broke over it. Kurt Schilling's a fucking piece of shit.
Well, that's a baseball.
And yeah, the Amalur developers, Big Huge Games, also died as a result of this because every dime they made on that game, which did well, got put into Copernicus, which was the MMO.
That's what it was called. Oh my god!
I struggled to remember it
until
I
fuck! Oh, dude! Oh, I just got hit with the wave. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. The Copernicus GDD. One of the files that were delivered to fucking check out. Yeah. Oh my god. Wow. Well, in any case, yeah, don't fucking go into games and then treat your fucking team like shit. How about that?
Maybe don't go for an MMO first out.
Yeah.
The most expensive type of game you could possibly make.
I mean, you got to kind of wonder. It's like it's one of those weird things where it's just like, is it like just like a vanity project of just like, hey, I got a lot of money, I like video games. Let's just throw our hat in the ring, and you know, and then it's like, oops, nope, wait, never mind.
Yes.
I changed my mind, and then it's like, but you can't just change your mind. It's like, well, I did.
And you're all homeless now. Enjoy that.
Okay, thanks. Bye. So
Well, he played baseball once and his sock was bloody.
So yeah, the re-reckoning is it's taking me, it's fucking hitting me with waves of nostalgia, because it was just like that combat engine had no reason to be that good, but somehow it was.
It just was. It's like when you play Darksiders 2 and you're like, whoa.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this good. Why is it this good?
Oh man, yeah, the hammer. Right, there was the hammer, and you could, again, anyway, whatever. It was the whole thing. It was one of those projects where I'm like, yeah, I don't mind spending time on this, because I'll do some combat testing.
God damn it. That's a bummer. That game should have been better. But even it was still pretty good, even if it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
And it had no future.
Yeah. I that's something you can bring up as just like an obscure, like, random gem of just like, oh fuck, yo, you want to check out something quirky that has like the most non like creative world and setting, but you've got some cool combat and you got some pretty good armor designs too.
It's also fairly like beefy in terms of content.
Yeah, large continent.
Game there.
Large continent. You could run and move through the open areas for a while. There was a bit of that like solo or single player MMO feeling at points.
Oh, absolutely.
Where like I remember like at one point you could go through the forest and then you kind of make it out the end, and then you can just wander through some fields until you hit desert, you know, and then like you start picking up desert NPC quests, and it's like, oh fuck, like should I even be here, you know?
No.
Yeah. But it is in fact, it is also, yeah, there's some bland and all that too, you know. So, but again, it's like if you are the type of person who is interested in checking out these like quirky things in post-mortem, you know, I would almost say like I wish if there was a way to just kind of like cheat your way into having like a max level and then like just getting all your points that you can just like hit the tree and build yourself up a character. It would be fun to like dick around in that game at max level for a while. Like you could have some fun just dicking around with that.
Yeah.
And you know, and there was a little bit of like, how do you want to play talking to these NPCs, you know, like little, like not anywhere near like BioWare level or anything, but just there was like you could choose how you wanted to play out some circumstances a little bit too, because you had to like pick sides between the races and stuff.
That's one of those games that I liked its feel so much that I just desperately wanted it to be better than it was.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, like, dude. The whole time I was on it, you know, I was like, can we, like, you know, like it's like you want to write, because sometimes you write like bugs in the database, but it's just a suggestion, you know.
Yeah.
and like, yeah, it's like if you wanted to, you could find a roundabout way to be like, you know, at the last swing of this hammer, the fire doesn't explode as heavily as it does on the other swings. Please.
Oh man, that's
please make you know, or whatever the fuck. But
That's a bug. This is the explosion on
clearly,
final swing isn't big enough.
clearly the explosion on the previous swings is meant to be weaker, so it would be inconsistent if the player then would have their largest swing not create a large enough explosion. Please ensure that the hammer weapons explosions are consistent with the player's expectations.
Yeah, that's about right.
Well, anyway, there's a Kickstarter campaign for a game called SteamDolls: Order of Chaos.
All right, let's take a look at this.
And steampunk Metroidvania are the words you're looking for.
All right.
There's a third word in here, and it's not a word, it's a name, and the name is David Hayter.
Oh, cool.
So, I remember seeing the trailer for this actually a little while back, and then I guess they just launched the Kickstarter for it. But yeah, pretty cool character design here, and David Hayter is voicing the Whisper, and you can hear it. That's David. He's doing the thing, although he's more of a zealot and kind of a little bit crazy sounding.
Okay.
Says it's inspired by games like Castlevania, Hollow Knight, Dead Cells, Bloodborne, Dishonored.
It's nice to hear like Hollow Knight be put into the
inspired by. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's there. It's already a classic. So yeah, everything gameplay wise looks interesting, and I'm curious to see how this plays out. And yeah, David Hayter, good guy, cool.
Could always use another good Metroidvania.
Mm-hmm. Nice art style. Melee attacks, air dashing, stealth, all that shit.
Animation looks a little stiff, but I'm not sure if that's final.
Yeah, so once again, you can check that out. It's SteamDolls on Kickstarter. It's at currently 80K Canadian of their goal of 45. So they are healthy. They're super healthy. They're in stretch right now. Cool. Oh, David Hayter's voice was actually a stretch goal.
Okay.
And then they hit it. So
that would explain why they're sitting comfy.
And then it says they also the last stretch goal they hit was the Metal Gear vocal reunion. What is that?
Who else is coming back?
Yeah. Oh, Otacon. Christopher Randolph. Is also going to be involved.
But will they kiss though?
I mean, after all this time, what have we been building up for? Yeah. So there you go. There's another Kickstarter that popped up, and that is Wakfu, the animated series, season 4. So, I talked about this a long time ago, started it, and was like, oh shit, okay, this is pretty cool. Still interested in eventually making my way through to see how this plays out, because I have been sold on some of the things I've heard about it, namely what Plague brought up. But yeah, apparently it's getting a 4th season in the form of a Kickstarter, and it's already super funded. They're at 561K out of pledged 151K goal, Canadian, that is.
Okay.
So they're incredibly healthy.
That was easy.
Yeah. It's a beloved series. It's, not surprising. But
First seasons weren't Kickstarter, were they?
I don't know. I didn't hear about it being that. I thought it was just kind of just like solo made project, and then eventually went to Netflix, and then got more like momentum and studio stuff behind it. I heard something like that, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. Public French TV.
Okay.
Season 3 was a Kickstarted. There we go. So yeah, they originally were looking for 100,000 euro for 3 episodes, and then they hit 4 and then 5 episodes, and then basically every 100,000 euro adds another episode to the season. So yeah, that's going on too.
I hope they didn't write anything yet, because that's a weird way to.
Yeah, of course. That's the first thing that, like, when I saw that, I was like, well, yeah, you have to write with the episode number in mind, please. Of course.
Because holy shit, that would be fucking terrible.
Like if they stopped
and then they went on another adventure.
If they stopped at a weird number like 7, you know, then they'd have to like stretch the whole, like figure out your thing. Yeah, exactly. Like have a plan for that, you know. So anyway, that's happening as well. Did we talk? No, I guess we didn't. Okay, I'm looking back on it. Yeah, I don't think we brought it up, but something that got announced actually was a new Samurai Shodown NeoGeo collection.
Really? Okay.
That includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 special, 6, and a brand new unreleased game called 5 Perfect.
Okay.
So there is a new version of Samurai Shodown 5 coming out that has never it come out, that we're gonna see, and who knows, but it's, you know, 5 special is generally the classic Samurai Shodown game of choice competitively, and everything on this collection has rollback.
I was waiting for you to tell me that, like, or just like, and that'll be coming out, and I'll be like, just have rollback, and I go, but good, yay.
Yep.
Doesn't this kind of invalidate real Samurai Shodown?
No, this is every game except for the 2019 game.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't have rollback.
It doesn't have rollback. You're correct.
So it doesn't.
It's a different game.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean that if you want a good Samurai Shodown game, you're probably better off getting this collection?
I mean, good game versus the online experience, I would say, yeah.
This is a fun world that we're living in with this rollback shit.
Because I wouldn't say Samurai Shodown 2019 is a bad game, but it is a game that does not have rollback, which fucking sucks.
Boy, does it not.
But you and I use words differently, you see.
Yeah, that's true. I like to use a lot of conclusive power words.
I tend to give the benefit of the doubt.
That code is bad. It's not just the fact that it's like not rollback. It's also bad.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. So, this is a good sign with this release, and the game is about to. The 2019 is you know, getting its PC port. You know, there's characters for like that just came out because the season was going up until about a month ago when like Iroha came out. It makes me kind of wonder if like they are considering their rollback options, since, you know, the other shit they're putting out right now has it.
Yeah, a bunch of people. What company was it? Was it not Arxis? It was French Bread's looking at rollback now, and it was somebody else.
Yeah, Guilty Gear.
No. A dev that had prior never mentioned the word rollback, going, "Hey, yeah, we're thinking about rollback. Shit seems good."
Well, that dev on French Bread, there was a clarifying statement that came out to say like, oh, well, he doesn't speak for the studio or something like that. So.
Oh, fuck off! Yeah. Why would you? Why? Why?
You know.
It's like, oh, I really like oranges. He does not speak for the studio. Oranges are not popular at this
Well,
studio.
I guess it's because if they don't say that and then nothing happens, then they are now taking heat over something that was said that was a lie, as opposed
take
to
the heat, bitches.
As opposed to not making the poor decision, you know. The difference between we didn't announce shit and like you made it not good.
Make it good, though. That's my statement.
His Twitter bio says, "My views are my own." So, hey, can't hold anyone accountable.
I don't think that's ever worked for anyone.
Watch it stand in court.
I don't think that has worked for anyone once.
The Supreme Court justices will look at your Twitter bio, and it'll say, "My views are my own," and they will be like, "Well, that's the end of that." RBG, how about we take lunch?
We're good. We're good.
End of conversation.
Until Judge Judith Sheindlin gets in here.
Judge Judy
for
Supreme Court.
Yeah, dude. She's not gonna take that shit.
Oh my god. Wow. Is that just like, is that, yeah, that is really just Tengen Toppa Judge Judy, isn't it? It's you know, she's got to shoot past television eventually to the theatrical era where, you know, if we can get a Judge Judy movie, that would be her Choginga. And then when she eventually gets to the final stage. Yep.
I watched so much of that fucking show.
Did you know that Hannibal Buress was on it?
I did not know that Hannibal Buress was on it.
Hannibal Buress was on an episode of Judge Judy because his landlord was like, "Why the fuck you ain't paying the rent?" And he was like, "Yeah, I don't know, man."
I think that combination of words that you just said are the most hilarious and fucking ironic things I have ever heard in my life. Hannibal Buress was on Judge Judy for not paying his landlord.
Yep. And you can hear about it more in Hannibal Buress's hit single called Judge Judy, in which he celebrates her releasing, I think, 1,000 episodes. Dude, he released a song called Judge Judy. And you know what? Guess what? It's a banger. It's a fucking hot track. It's pretty good. Right? And yeah. He you know, in the song, he celebrates the fact that she's had 5,200 episodes.
That's insane.
She's had 52 episodes, and back in 2003, he was a defendant that was not paying his rent.
Why are you not paying your rent? I don't know, man. Both of those impressions were the worst. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And now Hannibal himself is a landlord yelling at people to pay their rent.
There you go.
Success is lit, man. It's the best. It's like that Batman thing.
He said he didn't pay the rent for 1,000 weeks. Oh, Jesus, Hannibal. Well, yeah. You can check out the song. It's pretty good. And Hannibal's a fucking squatter. That's all there is to it.
Squatter turned landlord. That's the American dream.
Yes. Well, anyway, I again, I don't tell me how you feel about this, okay? Because I didn't used to. I try to generally avoid like super unconfirmed things on the docket. I don't like rumors on the docket that much because if you do, then there's almost always some bullshit. You
Oh,
can,
there's crazy shit all the time. Yeah.
yeah, you know, and like at one point it was just like Smash rumors. I'm just like, get that the fuck away from me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need some idiot kid's threads of attention to get his high school friends impressed. Like, so, um, you know, and at some point I was like, okay, well, if depends on where I'll grab it from. If they seem to quote a source that has been verified before, then maybe, you know. But do you like, I don't know, would you rather like rumors on the docket or no?
Depends.
Because if it's nothing, then it's nothing, you know. But if it's something, then it's something.
Is this the Bloodborne shit?
No,
Okay.
this is Village.
Oh, what about it?
Bloody Disgusting apparently has some unconfirmed rumors that come from where is this? Biohazard Declassified.
So I should say the Bloody Disgusting is usually pretty all right.
That was kind of the thought process.
Yeah.
And now this tab is playing music. Fuck off with that, please. Stop it. Okay.
Well, you can't do that. People make a clip.
So it also includes spoilers in the rumors, so I'm gonna dodge those.
It's just the stuff about who the villain is for RE8, and there's a flashlight mechanic, stuff like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Ethan makes a return. Playable character named Emily, looking for her father. Similar to RE4, where a cult is worshipping the creatures created from a new virus. And flashlight mechanic, hallucination factor, corrupted air, and someone named Alan R. living in a castle near the village where the game takes place.
Now, all I have to say about that rumor is that sounds really surprising.
Okay, well. But yeah, so do bring these things up then?
Yeah, why not? Fuck it.
All right, cool. More Resident Evil 8 leaks suggest occultism.
Capcom leaks like a fucking sieve. I'll just tell you people that right now. Like, leaks that come out of Capcom are like 80% on point almost every time. It's really ridiculous. It's really absurd.
If the rumors are good things, people tend to get happy, though. So it doesn't hurt them.
No, not like a simp, like a sieve, guys. Like a thing that leaks.
Rumors can be an interesting form of marketing in an unintended way, where it can serve as a soft announcement for something almost, you know, depending on how reliable the source is.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 8's been leaking out like constantly. Like it's really funny actually. Like what's the name, like the name of the game, and then the announcement and all that stuff.
Well, I feel like ever since RE2 started, ever since RE2 was about to come out, it feels like Resident Evil franchise has had a consistent train of rumors flying out of Capcom and into everyone's hands.
Yeah, that's about right.
And again, like, as long as people are, you know, generally excited by what they hear, it doesn't necessarily hurt them. But yeah. Anyway.
It's how do I Capcom's doing a lot of good stuff. And I look at the batch of RE8 leaks that came out. When was this published?
The rumor list?
The leak. The rumor that you're talking about right now.
Well, I mean, everything on my docket is from this week, but...
No. I mean the date. Like the specific date.
June 7th.
What was that, Thursday?
That was 1 day ago.
June 7th? Okay. Because remember when Sony was supposed to have that big event last week that is now for the 11th? I always wonder when those events go off or don't go as planned, whether or not people get frustrated and just start talking. Or, you know,
I mean,
with CMSs just go live when they're not supposed to.
Sometimes a company will go, well, fuck it, we'll just make our own event and do this, that, or whatever. Or they'll just be like, well, you were supposed to see this on stage, but since there's no stage, here you go. Here's a trailer.
I wonder if we'll see Resident Evil 8 Village on Thursday at the Sony thing. That would be really crazy.
Well,
and very surprising.
That would line up with the idea of perhaps these rumors are coming from someone who is working on that saw a trailer.
Yeah.
You know?
It does line up with that, doesn't it?
So what's this about Bloodborne?
PC. That's the rumor.
Sony?
Yeah, did you miss Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PC?
Yes. I forgot about that. You're right. True. And Dead Rising. Not Dead Rising. They let Kojima, you know.
Death Stranding.
Bring Death Stranding too.
Yeah, it's become, and Microsoft's putting all its games on PC. Like, it just looks like console exclusives are going to come to PC now. They'll probably be delayed a year, but they'll come, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is. I will I thought for a second you were gonna say, that like there's rumors about like Bloodborne 2 or something.
There are, but I mean, I have tiny bitch baby rumors about that. Like, they're garbage. They're not trustworthy.
Would you rather? Not would you rather. How would you feel about Bloodborne 2 being confirmed, but not by FromSoft?
What I don't care about it if it's not from FromSoft.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Like, I don't care about this discussion if we're not talking about from like.
Someone picking up the pieces like KOTOR 2.
Yeah.
No,
thanks. Christ, I mean, think about the kerfuffle that happened when Dark Souls 2 was made by a different team in From Software.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and you just have to think like, how much of the force is currently on Elden Ring?
A lot. That game's the next gen title. I mean,
all of it?
No, not all of it.
Yeah.
They staffed up. They're big now. There was a like, I think it was Dust Golem, a guy who leaks, like a guy from Resetera, but he has leaked shit for like a decade now, and he just like, I think it was like just this weird non-committal statement that was a lot of good stuff coming out of From Software.
Yeah,
and it's like, thanks for the nothing.
Okay, well, I suppose we'll find out.
I have some suspicions.
Yeah.
Big suspicions, but you know, it's tough. Because every time somebody tells you anything, it's always, so I heard from a guy. And you have to not only judge their own veracity, but whether or not the guy they heard it from was legit also.
Also, the last time they heard from a guy.
Yeah.
You know? That all matters. But, yeah.
Boy, I sure wouldn't be surprised to see Resident Evil 8 at the Sony show on Thursday. That'd be crazy.
You think what are the chances you think they make a statement on the current affairs at the show?
They'll say some bullshit.
I imagine.
They'll say some crap that means nothing, but it'll make somebody somewhere feel okay about their balls.
Probably a 100% pre-taped. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like you know, we really like to support everybody out there, but let's talk about video games and they'll be like, do you think there'll be like a really tone deaf moment where they're like they try and take a game and they're like, hey, you know who else has a long history of fighting injustice? Kratos.
Oh my god, dude. listen, like no. The foot in mouth, I think, is going to happen a little bit further down the line. Somewhere in some way, but no, I can't, dude. I absolutely can't. No. You know. Just
that'd be good stuff.
I mean, like that would let Mike off the hook. That would be like
that would be
right out of
that
the
would be
like ridiculous, dude. Anyway,
do you remember that guy, that bald looking dude who was staring off into space and talking about the police state and all that shit, and then he segued into like infamous Second Son at that E3?
I don't.
Oh, dude, it's like, dude, just do that, but for this. Like, it's actually pretty close. I bet I could fucking pull it up. Give me 2 seconds. Was it infamous? God, I hope it was infamous, because if it was a different game, this is going to be really... infamous Second Son reveal? I don't want the trailer. I want the fucking guy talking about... There, yeah! It totally was!
Oh
my god, it's even talking about how the police are always there to help you!
So, giant political statement, and then it reveals what it's about at the end.
It's a fucking... Here, look, I sent it to you. Just watch it for like 15 seconds. It's hilarious. This is from an E3.
Oh, boy. This was E3 what year?
Oh, many years ago.
All right, let's see here. Sucker Punch Productions unleashes infamous Second Son trailer. Okay, well, this is a video of a guy talking.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about not the trailer for the game itself, the guy talking himself.
Yeah, the guy setting it up. He's like, I attained a political rally and I got tear gassed and I thought the cops were there to help me. Here at infamous Second Son, and it was hilarious. It was so toned up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's just, don't do that. That's stupid. That's bad.
They're gonna do it. They're doing it right now. I can't wait for I can't wait for Sony to unveil their new game, Riot Squad. You have to take back the city.
Things that aged like milk.
Oh, what was that? Zero Tolerance?
No, that was Urban Chaos.
Oh man, no! I thought it was Zero Tolerance
because it was supposed to be called Zero Tolerance because it got renamed. But when the first opening line of the game happens. The cop jumps out and he kicks the thing, and a smoke grenade blows up or whatever, and some bad guys get blown away, and then the cop goes, "Now that's what I call zero tolerance," and it's capitalized in his subtitle because it's the name of the game, but it's not the name of the game anymore. So yeah.
Oh man!
If you want a fucking tidbit of trivia on that from QA World, if you go back to the beginning of Urban Chaos,
turn on about that, and you bugged it, and you're like, you changed the name of the game, morons! Like,
yeah.
Oh, man.
Go back to.
Did you forget?
If you can track down, if you want to go back, you can, to see the subtitles on the beginning of that game, but it's a pre-recorded dialogue sequence. It's like they got the voice actor to say the name of the game, and he delivered the truly "We were the Final Fantasy 13" line, and then they changed the name of the game. What are you supposed to do? So now that's what I call Urban Chaos. Like, fuck. Yeah. So anyway, all I'm trying to say is, if I see a Quantic Dream logo, I'm just going to take a shit. I'm just going to take a huge shit.
Get ready.
Huge.
Get ready. Are you excited to shit your pants?
I'm going to churn it up.
I'm
going to build up to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'll hold you to that. If there's a Quantic Dream logo, and I don't hear stories of you shitting, I'm going to call you out.
Oh, man, dude. Just the absolute undercutting of their own message by saying, hey, a lot of you guys wanted to have your fucking robot slave back on the main menu, so we let you bring her back. The one you freed is always going to be free, but this one's a different one, and she's a new one. Yeah. No, like Liam tweeted out calling it "little dick energy," and it's like, yep, that's about correct.
Oh, yeah, that's about right.
That's about right. So, it is a. There are fewer companies that need to double down on their silence than Quantic Dream.
I like that. Double down on your silence. That's good. I like that. Shut the fuck up, guys.
All right,
you know what game didn't bitch out? Nier Automata.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good game.
This cannot continue is a pretty good protest shout.
I would say. Yeah.
It would have been cool if that got adopted at some point.
Yeah, and then they start doing "We Shall Become as Gods," and then stuff starts getting a little out of hand.
Starts getting a little out of hand. No, the there was a like a Sonic sign saying like racism and police brutality. That's no good.
That's no good.
I'm just like we can geek it up a little harder. We can geek it up a little harder.
I feel like we're in a wild new world in which like protests and political dissent of the day are also, unlike the past, just chock full of shit memes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How dank do you want your unrest? Because it's getting dank.
But like unironically, this cannot continue is a strong sentence.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Actually, So let's take some emails.
Hey, if you want to send in an email, send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
Got one coming in from Alice. Says, I was listening to old podcasts, Dear Punch Daddy and Ginger Saliva. I was listening to old podcasts, and the bit about the colostomy bag being a weak point gave me a thought. Does can showing someone with hemorrhoids inflict bleed?
Yeah, it does. It literally does. You ever have hemorrhoids?
Not really.
It sucks, dude. It hurts your ass.
At what point do you cut your fingers off?
Pardon?
The person who canchos you. That's done. It's over. You lose your fingers, right?
I'm sorry, what? I genuinely don't understand. Why would I cut my own fingers off if I canchoed somebody?
If you canchoed somebody who had hemorrhoids and you inflicted bleed on them.
Yeah.
You also inflicted that shit blood on your fingers.
I mean, I figured that I was ready for it, considering I was ready to get the poop on there anyway.
Well, I would say it's time to just lose your fingers and or die.
I don't think you should be canceling people if this is the kind of attitude you're going to have towards your own fingers post game.
I agree. It's a bad way to go. And what are you going to do? You're going to put some soft gloves on it that loosens the impact? That softens the blow?
Like a woolen glove or like a...
God, that's so horrifying. That's so fucking gross. The
one who just said it.
Well, the question came up, but I'm like, what about your... All right, we need to stop.
Why are you doing this?
You got fingernails, man.
I don't. I chew those things. It's disgusting, but hey, it means that I won't cut someone's asshole if I happen to attack them. In their asshole.
The answer, I suppose, then is yes to the question. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Having hemorrhoids is tough. You ever have anal fissures? That's terrible.
Yep, I've had the cuts I have had, and that is
I'll tell you right now, Wolves, that's about the experience somebody with hemorrhoids would have.
Yeah.
The only thing worse than that is the fact that you're shitting into an open wound.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awful.
Not great. That was a rough point. And until it heals,
every time you go to the bathroom,
every trip to the bathroom is agony. Exactly. Like, just straight up. Anyway.
You're like, what if I just didn't shit for like 10 days? Would that solve it? The answer is yes, but it would give you a new, possibly worse problem.
Duke wants to know, I'm sure you, like most people, have thought about what your fatalities would be in Mortal Kombat, but what would your friendship be? I've got one.
What do you got?
My friendship in Mortal Kombat would be me pulling out a NeoGeo Pocket Color, connected by wire, and I'd hand it to the opponent, and then we'd squat and start playing, and it would be like the Sakura versus Kyo art.
Okay.
Where he's losing and she's winning, and it's like, yeah. We'd be playing NeoGeo Pocket Color together.
I would bake a cake and give the person the cake. Because a good way to become friends with somebody is to give them candy.
Well, I wouldn't classify cake as candy.
I don't remember when I started to do it, but I started to call everything that had sugar in it candy.
Yeah, no. It's a nice treat, but it's not candy. That's stupid.
Yeah, well. We're going on the rule set of things Paige tells me I can't eat as candy. So, cake is candy.
No, cake is a class and candy is our class.
She also calls everything cakes, like muffins, as has been discussed.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting into that shit. Like, fuck that nonsense. but they're like, the cakes and candy are both like high up on the folder hierarchy. There's a lot of shit to dive into.
And I want to. I've been dating for so long.
Now.
And I haven't been like. It's been years and years since I've like just eaten a whole cake.
Now here's the thing. My grandmother's manner of speaking might actually come in to help you here.
How's that?
Because there was a word she would use to describe both of those things. She would call them sweets.
Yeah, that's true.
Candy and cake were classified as sweets.
Yeah, that's true.
So, if you want to use your language, you can be a little more accurate there.
Why would I want to use my language correctly? It's not like I have a job related to language. I'm just some dumb video game man. Oh, man, you know what that reminds me of, Wooly?
Mm-hmm.
The scrub quote equivalent of talking to people on the internet, which was just like, yeah, I think so-and-so is actually stupid anyway. I never take their opinions seriously. It's like, well, stop following me on Twitter then, dumbass. Oh, man, hasn't the past, like, week or two just been fucking sick for getting shitheads off your social media?
Well, it sounds like you've been on that ride and flexing it. But, you know, I don't flex the button as much as other people do. I flex it very rarely because I'm content to just see the shit. Because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, and then here you go. Here's my phone. Here's my phone. Here's the button. Now my phone's over here.
You know what the turning point for me was on that? For the block button?
What?
Was when I realized that this particular type of person, the one that demands that you debate them in DMs, how they lose their fucking mind when you block them.
I see. That's why you don't mute, right?
Oh, no. Well, you shouldn't. I don't think muting is what you should do in almost any situation. Muting is like, this person's all right, but they're stupid, and I don't want to hear them
Well, the
anymore.
thought process there is they will never know, but,
yeah,
you know, or whatever.
Blocking, if you particularly have a big follow list, right? If you got a lot of followers, muting people kind of sucks because your followers also have to deal with them, even if you don't. Right?
Right. Yeah, I get that. But like I said, for me, I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah,
it's like, okay,
it's enjoyable.
It's
very fun to do.
I would not ever, I'm not recommending my course of action, but for me personally, I don't fucking care, dude. It doesn't.
Well, you also like the cringe.
I don't need to shield.
You're born in the cringe.
I don't need to shield myself from the absolute shit fit mess that's about to occur.
Wooly, don't misunderstand. It's not a shield, it's a sword.
Okay.
It's not I don't want to see what you're saying. It's I want to take your ability to say it to me away. Because that's where the pain comes in. That's where the anger comes in. And I think, is there anything more pathetic for real than getting blocked by somebody on a social media and then running to their significant other to beg them to get unblocked?
Yeah, it's not great. That's a bad look.
It's really funny.
No, but I was just gonna say the oftentimes the course of action plays out in such a way that like dumb thing is said, and then other people that are like interacting in the thread will just go, that was dumb, and then someone else goes, that was really dumb, and then it'll be like, it'll just play itself forward anyway, you know, sword or no sword almost. But yeah, is what it is, you know. You guys have mastered the art of the dunk, so to speak.
Well, I wouldn't say I've mastered it. I'm still learning. Peaches, though, she's been spending a long time on that shit. I don't know why people still try.
Yeah, I generally go a different way, but every once in a while there's definitely some, again, there's some straw men that are like, are you real? I want to poke.
Yes!
I want to poke the straw.
They are!
I want to poke the straw and find out if you're real.
It rains on them and they kind of melt.
Mm. Yeah. And of course, I'm always open to the possibility that somewhere deep down inside, you might actually start making sense somewhere, which extremely unlikely, but you never know.
That's
You never know.
like adorable almost.
I have seen people like threads ending in apologies and mind and a okay. I've seen it. But it's wild to ever fucking expect it, for sure. But more so than that, I was gonna say, is your other conclusion in the as I mentioned earlier, God, I'm so lonely,
So lonely.
Shamelessly.
And then when I hit that
hopelessly-
block button, you'll just be one person lonelier. Oh.
Shamelessly, hopelessly addicted to hentai.
Oh, poor Bidoff.
Pepper says there will be Infinite and Void Lord Pat recently Hearthstone gave.
What is going on with this email? Is it written like that?
No, recently Hearthstone, but my brain jumped ahead to the noise, so I said recently because it created a lisp where there was none because of the word Hearthstone. So, recently Hearthstone released a new expansion which included a new character class, the Demon Hunter. Decided to check it out, had some initial fun. After a short bit, I eventually hit a losing streak and lost my damn mind. Hit to tilt really hard. And, I used to hit it even harder, but I got better in recent years. It sent me over the edge into rage territory. I'm not proud of it. And when my spouse noticed what was going on, she said, "Oh, it's that game you hate." And then it hit me. Anytime I go back to this game, I lose my shit and get frustrated. Souls never did this to me, but Hearthstone, for whatever reason, gets under my skin easily. Deleted the game then and there because it just wasn't worth it. You ever made yourself stop playing a game because you recognized it's bad for you?
Yeah, but I usually recognize, like, as part of the process, like, or like, it's not like something that I'll play for a long time that I'll realize. I'll just be like, I'll spend an afternoon with something and be like, I hate this. This is making me just pissed off.
Yeah.
This is, I'm
fuck.
I don't,
like, not much comes to mind because I feel like there's a lot of cases where when I know that I don't know a lot, like, I don't enjoy, but I super don't mind the thrashings because I'm like, oh, there's so much more to get here. You know what I mean? But when I do, there's definitely like, okay, so the closest thing I can think of is there would be nights where I would go out to our locals and I would enter a tournament and then I would do like casuals. And if I did badly in tournament and then in casuals I did like a long set and just got absolutely nowhere, that would like spoil the night. I'd come back home and I'd feel bummed out. And that's the closest thing I can think of, because you'd basically be like, well, fuck me, like I failed my test to see where I'm at, and it looks like I've gone backwards in progress. And a lot of the times it's like the person you're fighting will be like, actually I've been grinding in this matchup and I've been leveling it up and I've been trying new things out and I've been specifically trying to beat you, so, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, cool, so now we got to take it to the next level. But there was a couple times when I'd be like, why am I worse right now? What is happening? And you just don't even know what's going on. And you're not even accounting for like who you're fighting against. And then like you end up like, yeah, I've gone home feeling sour, a couple times with that. But the full on, like, I'm addicted and then I come back and then super tilt and then like don't recognize it, and like where it's like it's a bad state of mind, like I don't think I've had that.
Yeah, I tend to recognize very quickly if something's making me like horribly miserable. Like there was a period when I was playing Dead by Daylight a while ago, before some changes, where I was infuriated, and I stopped playing it for a couple months. Came back, it's good.
If there's a game where like mechanically I just can't wrap my head around it, or it just doesn't seem fun to me, I'll catch that fairly quickly, and I'll oftentimes, like, I'll say it outright. I'll just be like, hey, you know what? This is not fun for me. Like, I understand what it's asking me to do, but I don't enjoy that process. And at that point, I wouldn't go further into it. I'd just back off,
I'm seeing a lot of people say Overwatch, like an astonishing amount of people play Overwatch. And you know what? I think that is the only one I can think of that did follow this pattern, where Overwatch had so much good going on, and I played it, and I would just get pissed off every single time. And I had like a full week of playing Overwatch every night and coming away fucking miserable. And I was like, what am I doing? It's a bummer. Can we get Overwatch Classic, please?
I mean, shit, like, they did announce Overwatch 2, didn't they? Oh,
still makes sense.
I forgot that fucking thing existed.
Yeah, me too.
Last but not least, got one coming in here with the title, I Was Cancelled for Racism.
Okay.
To the lords of CSB. In the wake of the murder of George Floyd, some idiot racist white teenagers started a social media challenge where they physically reenacted the position he died in, person on the ground, and another with the knee on the neck. It was a huge problem for many reasons, which were all incredibly obvious. Yep, I did see that too. It became more of a problem for me specifically, though, when one particular very viral post included one of the kids' names in the corner, and he happens to have the exact same name as me. Also, one of the two kids looks strikingly similar to me. It should be obvious, but I was neither of those kids. Over the course of about a week now, I've had waves of dozens of people targeting me, trying to ruin my life in whatever ways they can. I've made numerous public statements with sufficient evidence that I'm not them, including the news article in which they are arrested days before on a different continent. But nevertheless, new people show up every day to harass family members in whatever channels they can to get me. What's the worst mix-up you've ever been roped in, and how did it turn out?
I've never been mixed up. I'm too obviously myself.
Well, there is the other guy with your name.
Yeah.
That is also in media and arts.
And in the city.
Yes.
But he's cool.
So that's the closest thing I can imagine.
How many other Woolly Maddens are there around?
One.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
This is news to you?
Is this... Wait, why are you acting so shocked?
Because it's the one that I have to defeat.
Oh, it's your dad. Oh, I forgot your dad named you after himself. Because wouldn't your name then be Wooly Jr.?
Yeah, but not when it gets not when it's just like first name last name.
No, you're Wooly Jr. now.
But I'm not.
Unless you get your own Wooly, then you become Wooly Sr.
I can grab you identification where we have the same identification name on our cards.
Okay, but you've never been mixed up with your dad.
Not mixed up with, no, but the same name is there, ultimately. So there's one other.
This is about mix-ups, Wooly! The whole context implied that there'd be a completely different person.
No, I was answering your question of there's no other Wooly Madden, is there? And I said there's one. It was just answering your question. You asked me a direct question that I answered. It was not saying that I was in...
email address. I'm going to bitch at him for this.
Okay,
this
well... like, you know, I was just following up on...
Most confusing read for him in the world.
But yes. Sorry to hear that, the wrong guy. That's a fucking shitty rough one. And no one will ever take a second to stop and maybe notice that. Which, yeah. Especially if, like, you have to turn all of your, like, banners, branding, and photos to, I'm not that guy. I'm not, like, you know, like, that's a hard one. It does eventually, in time, go away, but, like, sorry to hear that, man.
Is that the podcast?
That's the podcast. See what happens when you don't name your kids original names? See what happens when you don't name them Sephiroth or Riku?
Khaleesi.
Or Khaleesi?
Oh, Khaleesi. Oh, man.
That's it. So, you know, maybe you should reconsider. Maybe you need to give them some dumb bullshit names. Maybe you can spare them these mix-ups.
Maybe.
By the way, what the fuck is Vorthos? Like, Tim, Johnny, Spike, and Mel are normal people. What the fuck is Vorthos? Is that a character, or
it's the name of a D&D nerd lore hound sounding dumbass?
I've never heard of I've never heard of a person named Vorthos in my life.
It's like, imagine you had a friend of yours, right? And they introduced themselves to you and said, my name is like Sasuke. That's a Vorthos.
My name is A12.
Yeah, see, there you go. There you fucking go. That kid's fucked, dude.
It sucks. I feel so bad. But you just kind of you grab something else, right? And you just roll with it. You just go, yeah, Bob, whatever, Leia, Greg. Yeah. You know, you pick something, you just roll with it.
I've said it before, but my mother didn't want to name me Patrick because she hates the nickname Pat and didn't want me to be referred to as Pat. And my dad was like, oh, don't worry. No one will call him Pat. Everyone will call him Patrick. Which gets funnier every year.
Yeah. I think I fully expect upon that kid, you know, reaching the age of awareness that they'll just be like, fucking just call me Ash and shut up.
Why couldn't you name me something normal like Soda Pop?
Well, wasn't there literally like a thing that was like, for the sake of mental health and the child's life, we will not allow you to
bullshit.
You cannot put this hyphen in the name.
Yeah.
So
turns out naming your kid a bunch of weird bullshit causes them to become a target.
Okay, wait, but we were just saying that naming them weird bullshit will avoid them from becoming a target. So now what?
Well, fuck. This is a problem.
This is a problem.
I guess you're fucked.
You're fucked. Goodbye.
Goodbye.